However, that's not possible this week. Certain circumstances occurred that meant that he could not be with us today.
I'm doing very well. Excited to get going again for the final stage of the WRC event. We saw Punju take the title this time last week in a fantastic and thrilling Greek rally, but we're back here with even more of your favourite content creators to take you through the Estonia rally.
And now that people can hear me, I can say, hello, yes, we do not have Gareth this week. He has decided to hide under a rock out of sheer embarrassment after DNFing on the first stage of our Estonia rally. Something that all of our drivers are going to be, let's say, attempting to avoid. I'm not sure that the Estonia rally with its jumps sort of allows anyone to have any control over whether or not they DNF. TK, how do you feel when we did our little run earlier in the week?
It was certainly a challenge. I think, obviously, going in with no preparation, as we tend to do, it was definitely a challenge. I mean, even the WRC itself describes it as a super fast, smooth, and in places technical gravel road with numerous jumps and crests, demanding pinpoint pace note accuracy. So for our content creators to come in and do that is going to be absolutely incredible.
Now, we do have more creators than we've ever had before. I think we've got 13, maybe 14 on this week, and I'm going to be attempting to do the production desk and controlling all of the camera angles that you guys will see. They are already out there, so I am going to switch it so that we can have a quick look-see and see who we've got out there. And I'm going to hope that the audio is coming through, and it is not. So we're currently silent, but we've got Punju, Eyes Amusing, Aerotech, and Captain Sparkles already out on track going through the first stage. It looks like they've been out there for a couple of minutes, navigating these very risky forests, TK.
Yeah, obviously, they got trees left, right, and almost centering sometimes. You can see on the left-hand side, Punju heading over one of the first jumps in stage number one. They've got to be careful. The cars round here have a tendency to point their nose towards the sky. You could kind of see it in Eyes Amusing's run just a brief moment ago, but as they head over the crest, the aerodynamics of the car really pitches the car once again. The Ford Fiesta just pitching its nose to the sky, and it makes our drivers somewhat blind to the road in front of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a significant challenge. I think that one of the main things that I found problematic for me was how late the calls were coming. It didn't give me enough time to really process what was being said before I was sliding on the gravel towards, an untimely puncture in one occasion. And, Gareth went towards his untimely demise because he just didn't hear it in time.
Yeah, exactly that. Obviously, we'll wait on board and watch on board with some of our content creators here. The first kind of barrel chicane, you kind of want to call it, is about 2/3 of the way through this first stage. You'll see it on your screen. It'll basically be like a little chicane notification that comes up at the top of the screen, and that is Punju already heading into one of the concrete barriers as he finds his way through Estonia. I don't think it's going to let him get him down, of course, winning the championship last week, so he is racing purely for fun, of course. We got a couple of community members in here as well this time around. I believe we've got Ambient Mike Vlembar as well that we'll cut to a little bit later. And those guys, I'm telling you now, are absolutely rapid in these WRC cars.
Yeah, Bungie did say to me that he's going to basically throw everything he's got at this run. He's got nothing to lose now that he's secured that first title. I don't think the second one will come so easily. I think over the course of the season, we've seen new people obviously join the community, get involved. And I think next season isn't going to be quite so much of a walk in the park.
I don't think it will in the slightest. Of course, you mentioned a lot of people new joining. This club started with just a bare bones crew of members, and we've now grown to over 1.6 thousand people in the EA Creator Series Club. And on the left-hand side, you can just see Punji there trying to navigate around the barrels. He didn't quite come into too much contact, as we saw with Gareth earlier in the clip, but nonetheless manages to navigate it through. I think Eyes Amusing is probably not too far off of himself. I think might have just actually gone through it. I'm trying to judge where he is on the stage here, Rob.
Everything looks the same to me, mate, I'm afraid. So yeah, it's very, very difficult for us as people who have driven this stage. Frankly, once I try to make sure that we do the preview run each week, but I don't play the game apart from that one run. Don't play any other stages, any other layouts. I just play the one run each week so that basically there's a marker that everyone can hope to beat on the leaderboard. I think I stand in 156th out of 160 or something like that. So it's a marker that everyone should beat unless your name's Gareth and you crash into a barrier on stage 1.
Yeah, of course. We saw Greece last week took an absolutely incredible attrition rate, and a lot of drivers not finishing around there, whether that was to a cliff, a rock, or a tree. I think it was about 90% of the drivers that started the stages didn't make it to the finish line. Some killer long stages in there as well, as you see the top right-hand screen. Eyes amusing, just finding the trees ever so slightly in that Ford Fiesta WRC car. Just speaking of cars, there's only 2 of them that our creators could have chosen from this time around. Both Punju and Isa choosing the Ford Fiesta WRC. The other car available is the Volkswagen Polo. As you can see, Rift, Blondie, and Adam Sanderson driving at the bottom of your screens. Interesting to note, the Fiesta has won the Estonia Rally twice, back in 2011 and 2012 respectively. However, the Volkswagen Polo has never won here in Estonia in real-life World Rally Championships.
It's going to be incredibly interesting to see what the spread of the field is towards the end, I feel, because we do have quite an eclectic mix. I say, looking at Punju's screen, he's now paused the game and decided to reset. I wonder if he was having a bad landing. Fortunately, we missed that. But yeah, we do have quite a mix. Obviously, you've got your Punjus, you've got your Eyes Amusing, so you generally finish up at the top, and you've got Adam where it's frankly he's got speed, but it's a roll of the dice as to whether he makes it to the end as he slides off the track and takes a 30-second reset penalty. I've got to say I took a fair few of those in my run, so I don't think he's going to be far away from me if he continues that form.
Yeah, I think I also took quite a considerable amount of penalties, especially in the latter stages where you find yourself kind of off, not necessarily as much of a cliff as we saw in Greece or Monte Carlo, but certainly down a hill, almost unrecoverable, at least any time quickly. So that could be a real challenge for some of our drivers. I know Rift Blondie's been taking some lessons earlier on in the day from Kamikaze. Those two running through the initial stages in time trial, just making sure that she's as prepped as she could be on the right-hand side. Adam Sanderson taking another trip through the forest, a little clip with I think it was the barrier on the right hand side, just setting that VW Polo all loosey-goosey off the edge and almost off on the other side. And once again, not going too well. On your screens now is Patterson and Dark Viper, both of our F2 drivers here. Dark Viper having a little bit more success than Patterson in the F2s this weekend. But both of them enjoying WRC. I see Patterson's back to his usual front bonnet nose cam, whatever you want to call it here in the WRC. Dark Viper going for kind of windshield cam.
It's been really interesting watching Patterson develop over the season. I do think he started off very cautious the first few stages, but now you look at him going past Gareth's Bend, I think that's what we'll call it, right? And basically that camera, I don't know how he copes with it, because it does really enhance the feeling of speed in a similar manner. Obviously we have Dark Viper in darkness playing on an HDR screen, which is why you end up with that sort of resulting darker feel, let's say, which I guess is on brand for him, but it does mean that it looks like he's playing in the late evening, whereas Patterson's playing sort of early afternoon.
I mean, if you're judging by his room as well, rather in the dark is Dark Viper. You can see the screen every now and then just flashing hints of brightness towards his face, but it's not deterring him in any way, shape or form as they make their way through the stages. And yeah.
So joining us this week, we've also got Ambient Mike and Kamikaze. Ambient Mike, I actually borrowed a setup from him from not last round, but the round before. Gareth and I ran with that, and Gareth did actually manage to beat me there. But yeah, it's been useful, let's say. The community spirit, where people are sharing setups, they're practicing together, and it's a lot less, let's say, sweaty and competitive than what we see perhaps on the F1 side of the Creator Series.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. Ambient Mike and Kamikaze, both of the community members, they're constantly in the Discord, having a chat to the creators, sharing tips, sharing setups as well. That's a bit of a tongue twister to say. But it's fantastic to see that real community spirit that the rally's brought out here in the Creator Series. Interesting to note, though, if you watch on board with Ambient Mike's screen, you can see a little bit of a different layout to what most of the creators are running. It's a little bit of a different let's say, overlay to the game. You can much clearer see your gears, the rev counter, and everything in between. So I wonder if that's a little bit of a niche setup for himself and how he finds that little bit of extra pace.
It allows you to really glance down and see what's going on without moving your eyes too far away from the important bit, which is directly in front of you. Obviously, you can see on Kamikaze's screen, his clock is right up in that top right. So I think for those drivers who are really keen to make sure that they're, improving, doing their absolute best, the ability just to sort of flick your eyes down, see what you're doing, see your delta, that is incredibly useful, actually. Going to even consider that for myself, someone who doesn't really care that much, but next season, maybe I'll do a couple of runs so I can have that nice little delta and see whether or not I'm gaining or losing time, see if I'm improving.
Yeah, I might have to install it. Although I run a controller compared to a lot of these guys on wheels, it'll always be nice to see where the delta stands compared to some of our drivers. But you can see there, I think that's always amusing, who's finished the first stage, just having a look at his replay. Someone who, again, is very, very quick in these rally cars and fortunate enough to have come to share the comms box with us, share his wealth of insight and knowledge around World Rally Championships. And I've learned so much over the last few weeks from him. He is an absolute fountain of knowledge.
You can see there that Captain Sparkles has managed to close out the first stage in 261st. Obviously, we had quite a few more finishers for the first stage. I think we started off at about 300 after this stage, and we lose at least half of those by the time we reach the end. So it will be interesting to see how many of these guys make it to the end, and how many have an unfortunate end, let's say.
Yeah, Captain Sparkles. I actually finished 266 on this stage, and not too far behind himself. But I think that'll be the closest I'll be to any of the creators through the first stage. Everybody else seeming to absolutely be flying through the initial one. I think Captain Sparkles spending no time. He's ready to go for stage 2 on board. I think with Patterson in that top right, he's potentially closest to finishing the first stage round the right hand of that barrel. Interesting to note, some of the bollards you see on the screens left and right, some of them are destructible, some will absolutely hamper your ability to go any further.
And I've managed to find some game sound with Patterson, so I think Patterson's going to get a lot of coverage today. It's all dependent on whether the drivers share their game sound with us for us to be able to hear it, so I'm going to be hunting those down so that we can get that lovely engine noise as they rip-roar across the countryside of Estonia.
Yeah, until they damage their exhaust. And what did you describe my car a couple of weeks ago? A broken trombone?
Yeah.
This is why he culminates, gentlemen, not for the rally content, but for Rob's impersonations of various musical instruments.
I'm just hoping that NVIDIA Broadcast doesn't identify my noises as noise and suppress them, because otherwise there'll just be awkward silence. But here we go. So yeah, Patterson closes out the stage. I didn't quite manage to catch exactly what position he was in. But
around the 180s, I think.
180s, okay, so he's actually a little bit faster than Captain Sparkles through there. I do need to quickly see if we do have any drivers who would like to have a chat.
Oh, Jesus.
Glance. Oh, we could actually talk to Patterson. Let's bring Patterson in.
Wait a minute.
Hello, Patterson.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, we're doing well, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing okay after planting it into a tree.
We didn't catch that. I'm not sure.
I think we briefly caught it, but nothing serious.
I was complimenting you, Patterson. I think you've come on leaps and bounds since the start of the season. Though I do wonder how much of that is due to me being scared of your camera angle. That front of bonnet cam is an interesting choice, a daring choice.
It is. I feel a lot more connected with the car, which is why I've done it. For some reason, I changed to it 1 week and it just stuck. So I've kept it ever since.
That's fair enough. How are you finding Estonia then? Are you happy with your setup? Are you going to be making any tweaks as we move on to stage 2?
No, the setup was really good. I actually really enjoyed that one. I think it was fun. There was just 2 parts that really caught me out, and I'll potentially get to it in a second.
I'm waiting to see it on the replay at the moment. It looks a little bit more impressive at the fast forward speed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
no, Gareth.
oh, was that it?
Is that it?
No, that was one. That was one of the trees, but there was another tree where I absolutely must have been about 80 miles an hour. Dead on.
Wow. What, straightforward bonnet on?
Oh yeah, bonnet on, just
lucky.
Oh,
Yeah. The trick that I found was that if you find yourself out of control, whack that handbrake on and make sure you hit it side on. Yeah, you're probably going to lose a door, but you're not going to lose the car.
Yeah, true. I'm scared of the repairs that are going to be needed now.
Have you got rad damage? There it is. That's it.
Oh,
We don't get a good camera, but you hit it so hard that your front bumper phased through the tree and ended up on the other side of it. So I think that illustrates just how hard you've managed to hit it.
Here we go.
Here we go. I think you were slowed enough by that clip.
Yeah. Just very quickly as well. How did you feel navigating through Gareth's Bend as well? That hasn't caught anyone else so far.
Gareth's Bend?
A little chicane with the barrel tails.
I did all right actually. Yeah, I got scared coming up to it. It was like right hand entry chicane. I'm like, no! gripping hold of the wheel, hammering that brake. But yeah, we got through it. Okay.
Well done. Your time looked pretty competitive. Are you looking to sort of be up there at the top end of the creators?
I am
at the end of this.
I was just trying to find out where they was, if I'm honest.
186. I think you have Captain Sparkles a little bit behind you, around the 220 mark. That's all we've really seen thus far. 260. Okay, there you go.
Wow.
And then nailed somewhere to the bottom of the timing sheet, somewhere you'll find myself. But that's not important today.
That's for another day.
Anything else from yourself, TK?
I don't think so. Just best of luck in the next few stages. I think it's only downhill from here, metaphorically and physically.
Oh, great. Excited. I've not done any practice. I don't know what this is going to entail. I thought I'll just jump into it straight away and see how scary it really is.
Best of luck, mate. Best of luck.
Take care.
Well, that was interesting.
It was. Obviously, one of the more... Patton's a lovely guy, isn't he? Really always up for it, up for a chat, and actually very, very quick at rally.
Yeah, I do still feel like he's the most improved driver for me. Not that I actually get to necessarily look at the times all the time when I'm sitting on the production desk. Most of the time I'm obviously just cutting between, seeing if I can grab the action wherever the action may be. But just from pure visuals, and again, it might just be down to that camera angle, but just from purely watching the onboard, he does look like one of the most improved drivers, like in terms of just pure speed.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. It's not only in the speed thing, but potentially in a confidence way as well. He seems to be gaining confidence in the cars week on week on week. Every single time he turns up, there's a bigger smile on his face. He's loving the cars, especially, like you said, that camera angle switch. He's really found himself with the cars, and as he runs through the stages, that smile just goes, even with every crash. He's just enjoying it more and more.
Indeed. Should we see if we can grab Punju?
I'll bring Punja across.
Hello, Punju. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing well. Juggling with an awful lot of inputs, so please do entertain me and say whether you've just finished stage 2.
We have finished stage 2, and not very fast, but we did finish it. May or may not have had a full-on 360 moment that will force me to change my my race suit at the end of the night, but that's all right, you know. That's right.
But you're still driving, and that's what's important.
We're alive, kind of. Yeah. The left door is hanging on for dear life, but you know, outside of that, it's going pretty great. The first stage was pretty tough, but they're really fun. That's what matters, right?
Well, I was saying to Patterson that for me, the most important thing that I learnt was to hit things side on. Losing a door is great because you've not lost your radiator.
That's huge.
Exactly.
So you're
reduction as well.
you came 86th in stage 2. Where were you in stage 1? Just because obviously we didn't manage to catch that.
Also in the 80s.
Nice.
I was 80-80 on both of them. So 87th in stage 1 and 86th in stage 2. So at least I'm consistent, right? But overall, it's put me at 67th because some people who did better did worse the second one. Some people did worse, did better the second one. You know how it goes, right? So.
Well, I think what will probably shock you to learn is that 3 of your competitors were in the top 10 on stage 1. So 3 of our creators.
It was Isa, Ambient, and I'm gonna say Kamikaze.
Vlemba.
Oh, Kamikaze did not top 10 it. Huh?
I can't
No,
see
can't see
where
where he is.
Kamikaze is on the board. Does he run under a different name just in case?
No,
Oh,
he does
50th.
not.
He's 50th. There you go.
Yes.
Oh, he
8
must have had a
minutes
bit of a
flat.
moment.
So, based on that, obviously we've got a stronger field this week. What's your aim? What are you hoping for here?
Top 5 is a W for me. I think in this one. I mean, obviously with all 4 of those guys are insane. If I can then just barely edge out everybody else, sweet. But if I can't, I would not be surprised today because I'm really, honestly, not putting down some great times today. So you really never really know. It's pretty wide open.
What happened to just throwing everything at it? You're the champ.
I am throwing everything at it, and it's not working out.
show us some champion speed, as we see.
I will
So go
give
on.
my best. That one I can promise you. I will give my best. My best at champion speed.
Amazing stuff. We look forward to seeing your car fly through the air in the latter stages.
That it will. There's one stage that I'm ready for that I cannot wait for this one jump. It's totally blind. You jump over it and you literally just go full astronaut mode. It's great. It's awesome.
I'm hoping some of
Good
the
time.
some of the guys will get some good photos from it. But we'll let you get back
I'm
to
sure
your
they will.
stages. And yeah, best of luck, mate.
Thanks so much.
Again, what a really lovely guy. Obviously quick as well. Just outside the top, effectively, from some of the guys that are running this afternoon. We've mentioned Ambient Mike, Vlembar, those guys absolutely killing it. I think I saw Isa Musing was 10th in stage 1. He was then 6th in stage 2. Currently sitting kind of about 7th overall. But really quick times coming in from some of these guys.
Yeah, something I did catch out the corner of my eye though, with obviously Punju highlighting Kamikaze as being a quick driver, was one hell of a barrel roll that was going on that top right screen. So that's probably why Kamikaze was coming up a little bit slow. I imagine that was from his stage 2, but maybe just not quite settled in the car. Hopefully we can grab him for a quick chat after the next stage.
Yeah, maybe just maybe pre-stage nerves just getting involved there. Obviously, first time running on a live broadcast here on the Creator Series channel, so maybe it was just that in the back of his mind. One thing I did want to note while we were having a chat with Punju there, Adam Sanderson found himself quite considerably, I think, into a tree or into a rock. He's got a little bit of damage to his left-hand door. I'm sure we'll be able to have a look at that in just a little bit. It did rather phase him. He actually stopped for about 10-15 seconds just to reclaim his thoughts.
Yeah, apologies. I'm just trying to find his onboard. There we go. And there it goes. Okay, interesting. Let's swap him out for someone else. Hello, Vlemba.
Yeah, we'll go on board with Lembar. Again, a very quick drive, and look at him just threading the needle there on Gareth's Bend number 2, stage number 3, I think, here. And he's in the VW Polo, the car that we were running the stages in. But I'm assuming he's got probably a much better setup than the one we were running the other night.
More than likely. I mean, we just grabbed a Kenya setup and slapped it on. It's a bit of fun, right?
Yeah, it was fun until it had no suspension.
Now we can get on board with Adam, and we can see that his left door is flapping away, and we get the wonderful joy of double Adam for a little bit.
No one's going to complain about double Adam, but I love the livery that he's put on this. Obviously, leaning into his voice actor. I want to say heritage is probably not the best word for it, but heritage.
I actually didn't catch it when it went through. What does it look like?
He's made a Connor Sport livery for the VW Polo.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that is quite the reference.
I think he put a photo of it in the photos earlier. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm hoping at one point he repairs the bodywork and we can see on stream in all its glory. It's just stunning.
Personally, I'm hoping that he closes this and shows us the replay so that we can get a quick
really nice.
glance before we need to go elsewhere. But tell you what, let's do this. Let's go up to
look, I saw myself on the screen ever so briefly. So he's lost to me. Victories everywhere.
I mean, there's plenty of stages to go, and if I recall correctly, he didn't finish that far off me, which is going to be disconcerting. But I think
at one point I had about 5 or 6 minutes on you, and it came down to about 6 seconds at the end, I think.
I honestly can't remember. All I know is I finished, and that's what counts, right?
Exactly. It's better than some have done. Kamikaze, I can't quite figure out what camera angle he's running. Is that the same as Patton's, or is it just kind of one click up on top of the bonnet?
I think it's the bonnet cam and possibly with some adjustments. I'm not sure if you can, but obviously in the F1 game you can adjust the camera by an offset, and that's what it looks like to me, is either an offset or there is significant damage on that car, because I'm not quite sure what that is at the bottom of the camera angle.
I think that might be part of his bonnet mechanism, just swaying in the wind ever so slightly from potentially from that barrel roll earlier.
I mean, just below that, what's the brown? What are those brown bits?
That's his teddy bear for good luck. You know,
Right,
how Mr.
okay.
Bean, you know how Mr. Bean has his like teddy bear sewn to the front of his little mini? That's exactly what Kamikaze's done here. He gives him good luck as he runs through the stages.
Interesting. Let's see whether it's brought in luck. Wow, that car is not happy.
The front end looks okay.
346.
It's just,
Glenbar coming up 4th.
wow,
And
that's incredible.
Kamikaze 24th. These guys are putting in some absolutely beastly times. Eyes Amusing there, you can see on the leaderboard in 7th. In fact, let's pop up to top left. Pop past Eyes Amusing. No, we're not going to see anyone that we know, are we?
I'm going to wait to see if Punju comes in there somewhere, because that's the next kind of name I'd be looking for around sort of P50. PJ Turney, of course, P54 there.
Yep.
Another one of
Veritech
our-
64th.
Okay. Rift Blondie, 79th.
79th.
So some good names in the top 80, a very respectable lap time, or sector time rather.
Yeah, that's
for the majority of these guys.
That's still about the top third at this point. So, you know, people are putting in very competitive times. Let's see who else is out there at the moment. Who do you want to see, TK?
Well, I think Adam's about to start his stage, and let's go on board with him. We haven't seen him much for apart from the end of the previous stage, but he's definitely sat there waiting and raring to go. So hopefully he'll go in a minute. I don't know who's.
Oh, do you know who I want to see if I can grab actually? Let's just
Go
see.
for it.
Eyes Amusing is free. Let's see if
How
I can
is
drag
his
him
car?
in.
Perfect.
Eyes Amusing,
Hello, hello.
did you just do a repair?
No, not at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
That
I-
would explain it.
I think you may have just done a repair.
Yeah, so see, the beautiful thing when mechanics see a car rolling into service is it normally has still 4 wheels attached to it. Well, in my case, I had about half a car still attached. I had a thing called a little bit of a skill issue, and what happened was I thought I could take a corner flat out, and a signpost on the side of the road decided that it would challenge me. I challenged the signpost. We had a little bit of a Pokemon battle, and it turned out that I lost that battle. And so, well, the M Sport mechanics are actually really decent, and looks like my car's ready to go. Just don't check inside the car, like it's all just mangled. The bodywork's fine, the rest of it's not.
Yeah, it turns out that the signposts in Estonia have fantastic defensive abilities, clearly better than the attacking stats of your Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, my Ford's better on the defensive, but I've yet to test that out with any trees and all of that. We'll figure it out as we go along.
I wouldn't recommend challenging them. They're very old and wise. These are ones here.
Wiser than I am, that's for sure. Yes.
Wiser than I think most of us here at the moment. We've had our fair share of trees. But how are you enjoying the first few stages? Obviously, within the top 10 of all of them so far.
I've got to love it. Estonia, one of the best rallies, I think, to either spectate or drive. It's just Finland's, but with a bit more technicality. You've got a few more technical corners. You've really got to choose the line correctly, which is exactly what I didn't do. But yeah, you've really got to just send it over the jumps, some really, really massive jumps, and obviously obstacles that will not move out of your way. So it's in my opinion more enjoyable than Finland. But I'm sure there's a lot of drivers that will say both are enjoyable, and I just love driving flat out, especially in these cars with a lot of downforce. These cars have the most downforce in the game, so you can just chuck it round the corners, absolutely pinned flat out, and the car will stick most of the time, apart
So
from
what
when
you're
there's a signpost on the outside.
So what you're saying is we've chosen the cars with the most downforce for the level where we're going to fling them in the air the most.
Yes, that's a great concept for a spectacle. Great
Have you-
entertainment top here.
So you've had one, let's say, altercation with the road signs.
Confirmed.
How have you found the jumps so far? Are you happy with how your setup's handling the jumps?
Well, there seems to be a little bit of a downforce issue with the car, in that the car has a lot more rear downforce than the front, and so every time that I go over a jump, I see the sky. I do not see anything, including trees or rocks or anything in front of me. So I've really got to choose your line correctly. Apart from that, everything else is going fine. But with so many jumps on this rally, it would be nice to be able to see the ground at some point.
So, forgiving the ignorance, are there jumps on the next stage?
I think so. I don't think so many jumps on this one. This maybe small jumps, as far as I'm aware. This is not
I
one of
think
the
that's a good
stages
enough
where you've got
answer.
to-
It's a good enough
Yeah.
answer for me to want to lock your camera somewhere, just so that we've got it in the corner of the screen, so that we can see if you manage the backflip.
Nice. Okay, great. I think I've just realised which stage this is. Oh no.
Well,
Well,
worst,
that's,
worst
giving
of
you
luck
loads
to
of
you. I mean,
Oh, this might go badly. We'll see. If in doubt, go flat out. So I'm just going to pin it over the jump and just hope for the best. Seeing as I'm aiming up towards the sky, maybe get a little bit of a prayer or something might help. I don't know. Got to try everything we can.
aim for the moon. In the worst case scenario, you'll land amongst the stars.
I'll try and do that. We'll see.
In all seriousness, good luck. Unless there's anything else from yourself, TK.
No, nothing from me.
Thank you
Cheers,
ever so
Isa.
much. Cheers.
Well, Isa sounded very confident, apart from maybe some flight pre-checks that didn't quite happen.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing if he can truly get that nose straight up in the air, and head into space. Frankly,
I know we're not allowed to allow, obviously, or grant bonus points from the commentary box, but if someone does a backflip, that doesn't mean we can't rule them out as like automatic driver of the day, right?
I always run on. I've doubled up on the cameras. I always run on Robot Wars rules, right? If people DNF, then we will rate them on style, control, aggression, and damage. And flying up in the air is definite style points, in my book.
They'll probably be good damage points as well.
More than likely. I mean, it's normally damage inflicted to an opponent, so I guess it's most damage without destroying your own car in this instance, right?
Yeah, I guess what's collateral damage here? The crowds?
Ooh, that's not where we want to be going, is it?
No.
You get 30 seconds for that, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know that far too well from our runs earlier in the week.
I clipped someone's ankle and I got 7 seconds. Oh dear.
Oh, there we go. If we switch to Adam's screen very quickly, I'm not sure if we're able to. He's running a replay.
Adam can go
Sorry,
in the
let me
bottom
put you on
left,
the
and there we go.
spot. But there, it switched onto the body cam just briefly. There you go. You see it running through the stages, the beautiful kind of yellows and purples of that Connor Sport colours. It really glows in the sun.
So did he make this himself?
I believe. I'm going to assume he said he did. Whether or not he had someone that did it behind the scenes for him or not,
Or whether or not
know.
it's a bit of EA cross promotion, we'll never know.
Potentially.
But
I'm sure we have to ask him later on.
it's a thing of beauty. If only he could keep the door, you know.
Yeah, but if all the car was remaining intact towards the end, I think it would be a better advertisement.
Well, yeah, but we'll see how he gets on through the next level. See if he can please his sponsor, let's say.
Indeed. Bottom right, Ambient Mike, just absolutely sending it through the right-handers here. He's got all the confidence in the world. I think just coming up on that final kilometre board and across the finish he comes. That's a very good lap time or sector time. I need to get F1 out of my head still.
I didn't quite catch it because the clock's still running. I'm going to assume it was around the 3:39. That is a quirk, isn't it, of the 3:36. There we go, and it's second.
What stage was that?
That was stage 3.
Oh, stage 3, yes.
Yeah, stage 3,
Yeah.
Koigu. He is running P2 overall at this point. I'm hoping that he's going to definitely I'll be able to grab him in, but...
Blembar's in P4. That's another one that I see come in. Isa's P10 as things stand.
Let's just check if he's on track. Blembar is in the repair room, so let's see if we can drag him in for a chat.
Pull him in quickly. Oh, Ambient Mike's hopped in as well.
Oh, we've got Blembar. Hello, mate.
Hello.
Oh.
So you're running pretty well so far. You're up in P4.
So far, everything's going good, yeah. I had one spin so far, but I think that's it.
Yeah, it was run's going fantastic. Is there anything you reckon you could have done a little bit better? I mean, you're only, what, 20 seconds off first place at the moment, so not a considerable time margin in it.
I think for the moment, that's everything working perfectly. So I would maybe 5 seconds would have been more in there, but I don't think that I would get to P1. I think that's a bit too much.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm guessing kind of a priority here is at least get to the finish. It's a lot of stages to do back to back. I think 13 in total. So you've got to kind of think of the longevity of the car.
Exactly, it's just about surviving to make it to the finish. But yeah, I'm still gonna try and push as hard as I can.
And I think as we've got Mike in the box as well, and there are only
How's it
8
going,
seconds.
gents?
It's only 8 seconds between the two of you.
Yeah, definitely a really good fight there in stage 3 of the Vlembar, only a 10th away from him, so it's hotting up with the competition.
So, Mike, obviously, I've used setups that you've used before. How are you? Are you happy with your setup that you're running today?
So far, pretty happy. I was actually just noting that I was starting to feel the tire wear a little bit, but recently made just a couple of little differential changes, which kind of helped give me a little bit more turn-in. So far, feeling happy. We'll see how I'm feeling later in the rally, though.
Fair enough. And are you and Vlembar sharing setup details between each other, or are you fierce rivals?
I'm not sharing a single thing with him. No, I typically
I don't even
I'm
think
very
it would benefit him because I have no clue about it. So
typically I'm very happy to share my setups. This round I wasn't necessarily keeping things close to me, but just didn't necessarily share anything. So I've had previous people use my setups and say they're quite oversteery or interesting, but anytime they work for folk, I always like to help them out a little bit.
Definitely work better than the default, I'll tell you that. But I only really run the Creator Series events each week, and not much beyond that, so I don't have much to compare to. But it definitely helped me out. Which one was it? Not last week, the week before. Mexico, the week before last. I believe I
Look,
used your setup.
anytime us sweaty nerds can help you guys out, we're always glad to.
It's appreciated. So, talking about the stages coming up, these next 3, stage 4, 5, 6, which one do you think is going to be the most challenging for both of you?
Honestly, it's hard to pinpoint any single stage. Every stage in Estonia has infinite things that can end your run in one little second just with one tiny bit of understeer.
And Flembar, for you?
yeah, I think I can only agree. It's like just one moment where you turn in too early or just maybe a bit too late, and it can be an instant terminal. Especially I think on those stages with all the stones alongside the road.
One thing I'll let you know about my run was that on stage 4, I got a puncture about 500 meters into the stage, and I had no spares. So I drove stages 4, 5, and 6 with a rear puncture. So I would recommend you take an extra tire at least.
When you have folks like us even taking a spare, you know it's a scary rally.
Well, best of luck, and we'll let you guys get back to your next stage.
Much appreciated, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Those two battling it out at the top there.
They are, and there's absolutely no love lost between the two of them. Obviously, Ambient Mike sharing setups with everyone, and then going on to say that he's not giving a single detail out to any of the competition here.
Yeah, I've just had an interesting thing happen on the deck, so I'm just going to cut you to someone who's on track and be back in a second.
No trouble. Well, we'll ride on board with Aerotech here, running through the left-hander, currently on a fairly decent sector time. Once again, one of our drivers with a great personality, choosing the cockpit cam, but without the wheel, and sliding the car through. You can see he's spinning the wheel, just making sure the drift works for him, listening to all the co-driver's instructions through the hills of Estonia. He goes through the fields of Estonia here, just keeping it on the track. And I do say, I absolutely love his purple hair. I think it adds at least 5 horsepower.
I'm still juggling, mate, sorry.
No worries. We'll keep running through onto the tarmac here. This is a really crucial part of the rally. Running through the right, it's a twisty, turny section of this part of the rally, and it completely changes the grip preferentials of the tires. You've gone from dirt, dust, and gravel onto pretty much smooth tarmac, and at least it's in the dry. I think in the wet this would be a much more difficult sector. But you can see them navigating quite through. You don't want to take too much speed because the tires in their design profile, they're aimed towards gripping into the dirt. They're not designed to grab onto tarmac and try and hold onto it in that regard. So you can see there, Aerotech struggling a little bit as he headed through the tighter sort of sections of that of the tarmac section. Right inside, you just see Ambient Mike, or now Vlembar actually.
Vlembar. So I've just fixed it.
Through.
Had a little bit of an issue with the top right of our four-way split table, and as we've got Ambient Mike already logged on to the bottom right there, I just thought I'd pop someone else up there. No, the section that Aerotech just went through with the tarmac, as I said previously, I was running through that with a puncture, and I found that the best thing for me was to keep rolling over the curbs, basically, to try and keep my car on course. So seeing Aerotech struggling with some understeer, that's maybe something that he could do, because I know that we come back and forth through that track section over a number of the stages that we have coming up.
Yeah, I think we ran it about 3 or 4, if not more times, and I think every single time I'd approach that section, assume I was playing or have a lot more downforce than I previously had done. Tried to take it at full speed and turned in for the first corner and realised, oh no, I've got absolutely zero grip on this tarmac and went straight into a barrier.
Yeah, it's always that uncomfortable feeling when you slide off. I think at one point when I was going around, I had myself go on the outside of the barrier, and I continued on the outside of the barrier for about 150 meters before I realised I could find my way back in. So, you know, it's very easy to lose yourself. Or as we see Adam Sanderson doing the nose to the sky maneuver, and is that a puncture, or is that just him gently rolling it back onto the track?
I think that was just him gently rolling back onto the track. He'd have been lucky to get away without a puncture there. We've seen it time and time again, not only from our experiences just a few days ago, but I'm seeing some of the crashes that the creators have had so far. They've hit obstacles rather hard, and they've just got away with minimal damage. I think some of the creators who are sending it a little more than others have succumbed to heavier injuries in terms of bodywork. Like we spoke to Isa earlier, he was rather heavy on the bodywork damage until it mysteriously disappeared due to the good work of his mechanics.
And that is Vlembar setting another top 10 time. According to my maths, it will bring him in at 8th. Yeah, 8th. So continuing this breakneck pace, and obviously we can see Kamikaze there in 6th. So a lot of the guys continuing to put in times that frankly are making me struggle to keep up with everything that's going on.
Yeah, that puts Vlembar into 3rd overall as we run through stage 4. Kamikaze, of course, with that earlier incident with the P50 from one of the first couple of stages. I mean, he's still respectably in P16. Like, he's not far off the front pack. Isaac Musing, who's just finished his stage as well, running P9 in the overall standings after stage 4. So a lot of the guys really starting to recover those early mistakes.
You see how Isa took that tarmac section a little bit differently to how we saw Aerotech take it. Or maybe similarly, but really sticking that nose in, getting on that curb and hugging the inside of those curbs, basically to just try and drift the car around. That's more what I'd expect the lines to be. Not that I ever executed it anywhere nearly with this level of precision.
I don't think it's even possible on control, I'll be completely honest. I was trying to attempt it, but every single time I tried to kind of turn into the slide, as Doc Hudson used to say, my car was just trying to correct itself too much. I couldn't hold it.
So I think we have, and let me just double check if they're on a menu here. Yeah, Captain Sparkles, who's available for an interview. So let's drag him in and say hello. Hello there. How are we doing?
You know, I've not crashed out yet. Neither has anyone else, but that's an accomplishment for me.
Good. So that's you at the end of stage 4. Apologies for having to ask, but we're juggling a lot of different creators today.
No, all good. I'm assuming it's okay if I'm starting the next stage a little late with this interview.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll
Okay.
catch up and we'll get you back in alignment once once we're done with you. But we'll try to make it quick. Let's say. Have you found the rally so far?
It's very fun. I much prefer the dirt to the asphalt. I like the slidey, even though I still have yet to get a handbrake. So, you know, the only reason I'm not winning today is because I just haven't bought the handbrake yet.
Maybe map up the handbrake to one of your wheel buttons. I can see you've got a fair few. You've got that nice double cam setup so people can see all your inputs.
It doesn't feel right, you know. It's got to feel right. It's got to have the mechanical, you know. I got to flip something with my hand. Come on.
So you're saying it would feel unnatural if it felt like you're slamming the horn in order to handbrake at every corner?
Yes, it absolutely would, and that's why. It's got to be realistic.
Well, look, we won't keep you for too long, TK. Is there anything from yourself?
No, just obviously fantastic running through. Fortunate you're still running. Obviously some drivers, well, everyone so far, the creators are still running as well. But I know attrition rate of this entire rally still fairly high, so congratulations on that factor.
I can hope. I'm just here to make everybody look good.
Oh, no, that's my job, mate. Don't worry. You'll see me nailed down in 150th out of 160 when you reach the end, should you reach the end. And that's...
I'm in the 216, so...
There's only 150 competitors by the time you reach the end. The attrition rate is pretty high. So,
I see.
Yeah, I'm nailed to the back, don't you worry. As long as you don't DNF, you don't have to fear finishing behind the producer car.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'll keep that in mind, and I won't jinx it.
Best of luck.
Best of luck, mate.
All right, thank you very much.
Captain Sparkles there, preparing for his next level, and I think we did just put him a little bit off schedule, but no foul, right?
Off schedule at the moment, so it's nothing too much to worry about. I'll be completely honest. Obviously, starting stage 5 very briefly. Obviously, we started a little bit late anyway, just from various technical aspects, but everyone running through. I think we're potentially stage 5 or stage 6 here.
It's very difficult to tell when you've got Dark Viper's dark screen. It always looks like to be clear, I'm sure, sat in the room where he's playing, it looks amazing. Having played many games in HDR, it is just so rich. It's just when you're sharing it through. Like, you can see that cloud in the top left. You can tell, even looking at it on a normal screen, that must look magnificent when the blacks are that much better. But yeah, it does make for a little bit of a squint and try and work out where we are sort of experience for us when we're spectating. And jeez, is he close to those hay bales.
Yeah, he seems to be running rather well though on the bonnet cam, just squeezing every inch out of the Estonian roads. Avoiding every of the don't cut barriers. Those red poles you see on the inside of corners, they're don't cut markers if you're new to WRC, so that will impact and give you a time penalty if you cut inside of it. But I think we've got B-Roy in here for a little chat.
Hello.
Hello.
I came to commentate my run if you guys would fancy a little driver insight.
Oh, let's do it. You're in a new camera setup as well for yourself.
Yes, sir. I got a whole brand new setup, a whole brand new whole new atmosphere. I'm really loving it. There's still some stuff that needs to be done, but man, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm full. I'm refreshed. I guess the only word I can really say is excited.
I'm looking forward to seeing your run through. I was watching your stream when you were setting it all up. It looked magnificent, even just in the empty room. Like, the possibilities were kind of endless, and to see the colors, the lights, the camera, it all looks fantastic. So massive job on that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It wouldn't be possible without the awesome support of the sim racing community. You guys, everybody that lets me be able to stream. I couldn't be doing it without. So, but let me.
Well, I'm hoping you've not jinxed yourself. And I'm hoping that we're.
I 1,000% have. I 1,000% have. But you know what? It's okay. It's all in good fun. It's the last rally of the season. In my opinion, I think that last stage was the best stage that we've had all season.
Yeah.
The way it goes from a gravel track to a drift track back to gravel. That was absolutely fun.
Yeah, it was a really enjoyable track to run, even from ourselves. I'd love to know what it's like to do it on a wheel. It must have been so enjoyable.
You'll be pleased to know that drift track comes up a couple of times, forwards and backwards, and hopefully a little bit sideways.
Yeah. Look, as long as we're not shimmying left and then it automatically turns right, I think we're gonna be good. I think most people will be good at least. I have to turn you guys up just a little hair. Still can't figure out how to do things properly on the audio side of things, but we move. We'll figure it out.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure you want us turned up. We'll only distract. If you
Oh,
know
that's-
anything,
that's
and
all I want, is just
Gareth wouldn't
distraction.
let me hear the end of it. Okay, me and Gareth run the preview stream where we run through at a very low speed. I'm on a pad, he's on a G29. No like advanced tech, and he blames the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which was what we happened to be chatting about at the time, for his DNF rather than his own inability to see an oncoming wall.
It's so. I will say that it is very easy to get 1 foot wrong. Like, I thought through the first 3 sections that I was going to get it completely wrong with the well, actually DNF, because those rolling left, right, and left chicanes and the right, left, right chicanes, they come out of nowhere, and you like your co-driver has almost no time to react to it. So he's like literally yelling at you in the moment, "You need to stop." And I think I maybe only hit 3 out of like the 8 we've gone through tonight. So
So we're going for a record of 4 on this stage, yeah?
yeah, absolutely. I don't know how most people do it. I like to start in neutral sometimes. I like to change it up, hold the clutch, even though I'm rolling forward. And yeah, the big thing is trying to avoid just the trees. And oh, I see the drift track right next to me. I'm a little sad.
Well, you're about to turn left, I think.
Oh, I am. We're going back on it. Oh, beautiful. Oh my lord. I didn't think we were going to go back on this glorious thing. But we're back in the I guess we're back in the F1 side of things. The stock cars have come back out to play.
It's a real fun part of the track.
The tire barriers don't want to be nice though.
So you're carrying a little bit of gearbox damage. Is that affecting you at all?
Oh, that's gearbox? I always thought it was engine.
It's either or. I'm not entirely sure, to be completely honest with you.
Honestly, I think I think people have mixed opinions about how they feel about engine and engine damage. Like, I'm personally okay with it because I feel like with a little less horsepower, you can control the car just a little easier. But oh god, this is a tough little section right here. This whole going from tarmac to gravel is tough. But I think it's everybody's personal preference. I like a little less horsepower so that way I can control the car a little bit. Doesn't mean I'm good at controlling the car, no, but I mean, it's better than, slamming it into a tree like I just did. Okay.
Ooh.
I just talked myself into that one.
I think you did. Fortunately not to get radiator damage.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't got it yet. And I think we're on like one of the longer stages too, if I'm not mistaken. So I will say that the double combo of having radiator and engine damage is really, really bad. Especially for like a long straight that we're coming up to right now. You'll lose like easily 5-10 seconds in a rally.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what Gareth basically said was the sole reason I survived, was that I was carrying so much damage that when I lost control, I was losing control at that slightly lower speed. As almost well controlled, well held.
All part of the plan, boys. But yeah, damage. No, go ahead.
No, it's all right. You go. We're here for a talk through. I wouldn't want to rob you of talking us through and distracting yourself.
No. Please be a distraction. It's okay. No, it's like I said, everybody has their own preferences on it. If you have too much damage to the point where it is undrivable, your steering rack is damaged. You have one side of your like the toe, especially like. And the other thing I've noticed too, because I had to do it in stage 1, was not having a tire. If you have on a street circuit, woo, what a jump! On a street circuit or a street rally where you can kind of get away with having a flat tire and not being on the rim, it's fine. But on gravel, it's like the thing just sticks. You have no ability to turn. You have no ability to have any comfort or anything
I
like
learned that the
If
hard
you're-
way. I punctured at the start of stage 4, drove the majority of stage 4, stage 5, and stage 6 on I think it was a rear left rim. TK, you might remember.
Yeah, yours was rear left. I think I got a front left right at the end and couldn't steer it the slightest.
The front left was really, really bad. especially since I think these are these these are 4-wheel drive, right? This
You'd
era
hope
of-
so.
Yeah, I would hope so. But even still, having that puncture on a 4-wheel drive car, just having one of them out, it just throws off your whole game. Oh God, as we're almost about to barrel roll.
So
Next
are you
to some
running
rocks,
a
too.
setup on the car?
Sorry?
Which setup are you running on the car? Are you running the one from Ambient Mic or?
I am doing it from Kamikaze today. So shout out to the absolute goat for that. I tried Mike's setup last week with the Renault, and it felt really good. But Kenya is just a really. It wasn't Kenya. What am I thinking of? What was last week's rally? Last week's rally was really, really tough in terms of like sustainability, and making one small mistake will just completely kill your run. Whew.
Yeah, because last time out we were in Greece, and I think did you come to a slightly early demise last week? If memory serves me, correct me.
I did. It was a slight tap into a barrier and a small roll off at the edge.
I was like just making sure that I remembered that actually 90% of the people that were on the broadcast last week did end up either off a cliff or DNFing in some regard. It was actually only Punju that made it to the end.
Yeah, he was the only one that made it to the end, and he had. I will tell you what though, there were some pretty spectacular DNFs. Like Dark Viper's DNF last week was a little insane.
Some of them were really unironically funny to watch. Like just seeing the replay, seeing the footage. I think Adam Sanderson had a really great photo of him just heading off the side of a cliff where the car was just slipping and sliding.
I remember that.
I made it to the end in our little preview run, but I will admit that I cheesed the reset to track quite heavily in order to get me there. There were multiple cliffs where I was on the edge.
I don't think I've done that this season. I don't think I've ever cheesed my way into doing that, pausing and resetting the track.
I learned it in Monaco, in Monte Carlo. Sorry,
in Monte Carlo, Monaco. It's the same thing. They're all the same. Cuts into France a little bit, but it is what it is. Or wait, I don't think I'm thinking of that right.
Close enough.
Forgive me, the Floridian brain is not familiarized with geography
difference,
yet.
Right?
Yeah, just about. It's all Europe.
It's like Florida and Miami,
I wouldn't know.
right?
I've never been.
Well, you have driven this very similarly to the way we drive the preview streams, where we're just chatting about whatever as you drive around. But there we go, 6:17. Where do you think you are? But guess it before it shows.
Oh man, I don't know. It was a really good run. I was glad I was able to talk it through with you guys. I'm glad that you all allowed me to do it. It was a lot of fun. I don't know if I had to take a guess. Talking through it, maybe middle 100s, maybe
mid 100s,
maybe like 125-ish.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I took 8 minutes 38.
Really?
I had the puncture though. To be fair, I took no spares.
I don't know how you made it, brother.
Punctured.
I was 6:34 on this stage.
Oof. All right, so I at least beat both the commentators. Oh wow! I will say there are a lot of fast people in this series that they pour their hearts out and they do really, really well. So good job to everybody. That was wow. Holy crap.
Yeah, there's a lot of fast people.
Well, it was a pleasure to ride on board with you, but we'll let you skedaddle and get ready for your next stage.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm gonna go get a sip of water. Punji made the timings a little funky, and I'm out of breath, so I'm gonna go get some water before the next stage. Fix my car.
No sweat, no sweat. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Right, and I think Blondie is actually in a position. Oh, she just muted. I think we just missed her. I wonder if we grab her. Should
I'm deafened. Should I just drag her across?
Yeah, let's go for it. Riff Blondie, hello. Are you available?
Hello, hello.
Excellent. We could see you weren't deafened, but we could see you were muted, and we weren't sure if you were available or not.
I'm here.
How have you found things so far?
Good. I think I am keeping the good spirits up. I'm just trying to be a little bit chill, not gonna send the car too much, because I don't want to DNF or completely destroy it. And I think it's going great so far.
Yeah, I think
Amazing.
you're 41st.
Damn.
Is that right?
Okay.
41st? Or am I just reading? Hang on, let me just double
think
check
it
because
was
I glanced at it
stage.
just before we lined
I
up.
would love to hear where I am.
Let's look it up for you. We've just finished stage 6, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's find you. It might take a little while for us to dig it out, but how are you finding the car? How are you finding the stage? What's the biggest challenge you've found so far, just while we're looking up?
57th.
I think the biggest challenge in these stages is to control the car when you go over jumps and kind of know when you have barrels ahead of you so you don't cut corners. Because when you go fast, you really tend to cut the corners more to keep that speed up.
Mhm.
But if you do that, you might end up in a DNF. So I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
saw,
the most challenging part about it.
Yeah, I
About
saw.
Estonia, that's the worst one.
Yeah, I saw you in a little bit of practice, a little bit of help from Kamikaze earlier. How much has that helped the confidence going into this afternoon?
A lot. Honestly, a lot. Seeing such a good driver do a run gives you a confidence boost because you learn some things from him, either you want it or not. Some things just get stuck to your brain, which is really helpful.
Good.
So,
Well,
yeah.
clearly something stuck. You normally are miles ahead of me anyway, but you are a full 10 minutes ahead of me at this point in the rally. I had a
Is
bit
your
of a
car
puncture,
okay?
but oh no, I ran it a few days ago with Gareth. We did a
Oh,
little
okay,
preview
okay.
stream, but I had a puncture on my rear left that I ran with for 3 stages, so it was
Those
somewhat
are very
unfortunate, but
dangerous.
it was self-inflicted. I didn't take the spare tire, so that's the only advice I can give you: is make sure you've got at least the one spare.
I do have one always with myself.
A few of the
I did
drivers.
have-
So go on.
Yeah, go on.
A few of the drivers have been saying that their car tends to nose up when they go over the jumps. Is yours doing that, or have you got yours relatively flat when you're launching?
I tend to press the brake a little bit before jumps, so I don't do that
Yep.
because it's very hard to keep control of the car when you land, even though it's very steady. That's why I went with this car and didn't pick the Polo. I liked how steady the car was.
Nice.
And yeah, the tip about braking a little bit right before you go into the air, it's life changing.
Yeah, it will shift the weight forward and hopefully help you keep your nose down. But it's
Yeah.
very, very good advice. So, best of luck with the rest of the stages. Unless TK, is there anything from yourself?
No, nothing there. Just best of luck.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me.
Good luck.
Thank you.
There we go. Absolutely smashing the timesheets there with Blondie. We seem to have lost Ambient Mike's stream for some
I wonder
reason.
if he's had to drop it if he was. I was say if he's lagging, but it wouldn't make sense because it's not an online game necessarily. But I just want to go back to the point that Blondie made just a few moments ago. Obviously, tapping the brake before the jumps. It's actually something that is a very common rally technique into corners. You mentioned it. You shift the weight of the car forwards. You get kind of the weight on the front tires. That means the car has more grip to turn in on demand. Obviously, when you're going over the jumps, it just slows the car ever so slightly, gets the car tilted forwards, and that really helps the aerodynamics stop it from pitching up as much. And obviously, that's really working out for her here.
I wish I'd thought of it before I'd run the rally, to be completely honest with you, because
I realised it about halfway through. I was like, oh, if I do this, it won't tip up as much.
yeah, I mean, let's face it, it's a good thing that this game is not a real rally. Let's just put it that
Yeah.
way, because yeah, there were multiple instances of me getting penalties for the crowd, as we see Patterson somewhat off the course.
Yeah, he's finding a little bit more confidence. We're barely missing that tree though.
At the same time, we Kamikaze just deciding to cut the grass in one of the fields.
Yeah, just doing the Valtteri Bottas back in Austria a few seasons ago. Obviously, just going for a little bit of a lawn mow. Both of them kind of very aggressive through the stage, but very cool. When they collected, Patterson avoiding trees again. That could have been a run ender at the speed he was going.
Look how calm he is. Look how calm. For me, that would have been a change of trousers at the next stop. But Patterson,
He must have some banging tunes on in the background. Again, just lands it. No worries in the face of him.
there was a bit of a reaction that time, more so than the last. But I genuinely thought he was going to end up off the track, but the bravery to have the courage to dip your tyres by the looks of things on the grass on each side to hello, is that a lake?
That does look like
That's a 30-second reset penalty.
That's a harsh penalty.
It's just that you get too far off the track, it decides it's going to bring you back and give you the penalty. But just unfortunate there, taking a little bit too much of the lake scenery in and getting penalised for it.
Yeah, at least he's not doing this run whilst having Estonia trivia thrown in his ear for about
As
the
we
whole
cut
45
to
minutes.
Adam, as his nose is straight up in the air and he's spinning out, he needs to get that little braking tip. Maybe we'll grab him after this stage because he's managed to pick up radiator damage doing that.
Yeah, I think he actually had that earlier on in the stage. I saw him head into a tree quite considerably a couple of stages ago, so I'm not sure if he managed to get that repaired or not. We might be able to pull Eritek in for a quick chat. He's on deafened. I wonder if we can have a quick chat with him. Let's drag him across. Eritek, welcome in. How are the first few stages going for yourself?
A lot better than I expected, but I had damage early on, which kind of stinks. I actually practiced for this one. I knew if I put some time in and really tried, I could at least give Punju a run for his money instead of having him take off into the distance. My confidence got hurt on that first stage, and I've been slowly trying to inch my way back up to what I know I can do. It seems like we're still doing all right. The car's clean, which is nice. But I know a lot of the hard stages are still to come here, so I'm trying not to get too confident.
I'd say all the stages are fairly equally weighted in terms of difficulty. Obviously, they run backwards and forwards quite considerably, but doing a lot of research on Estonia Rally, it's one that the drivers have quite famously said it's difficult to make up time when you lose it in the corners. So obviously, it's going to be an uphill battle, figuratively and literally, I think.
Yeah, and especially the jumps going, let's say, forwards, the way we've already done them, it's great. You have some runoff, you have some time to land, and some space before the next corner. But now that we're doing a lot of these stages in reverse for the first time, you're coming off that slow rundown and basically jumping into corners. So if you don't remember or don't really listen to your pace notes, you're going to see a lot of people that are might go a little bit wide, might get a corner cut, or might be in a tree. So it all depends on how hard you want to push some of these jumps, because I think that's the only place we're going to be gaining time now.
Yeah, I think we're expecting that in the latter stages. You can just see there your Ford Fiesta absolutely sending it. Was that the GTI you've gone with?
Yeah, I went with the Polo.
Talk us through that.
Trailing my OJ.
Is that the reason? Kind of nostalgia?
Pretty much. This sport was dominated by French people named Sebastian. So I'm just gonna keep doing what they. I went with the Zara my first round, and it turned out great. So I figured let's just roll with it.
Amazing stuff. Rob, any questions?
You're running on the bubble of the top 40.
Okay.
Do you think, with you being less than a minute off of the top 20, do you think you can make it onto that front page?
You should have told me that. I think I probably could, but I think a lot of my strengths are in Creator Series. Is I know how hard to drive without crashing. A lot of my colleagues might be faster than me, but they like hitting things. So if I push all out and do what I know what to do, maybe. But that really runs the risk of hitting some bollards, especially in the chicanes. If you hit one of those, your car's wrecked. You miss one of these fast corners, you're in a tree. There's not a whole lot of, not that there's always room for error with Rally, but it's a big risk. But Punju's not too far up the road from me. I think we're within 5 or 10 seconds, so I'm going to try and start pushing a little bit more in these last couple stages.
So the target's 5 to 10 seconds of catch up on Punju, but I wasn't able to persuade you to go for the full minute.
I'm about at my limit. I've come so far in these last couple of rounds skill-wise. I don't want to drive over my head and make a jerk out of myself.
No sweat. Good luck.
People want to see that, but I don't.
Well, you're over halfway now, so just the second half, and hopefully we'll see you at the line having made up the time and for a nice photo finish with Punju.
All right, thanks, gentlemen.
Amazing
Cheers.
stuff. Cheers. I'll drop him back in for good measure as well.
Wow. I can't believe how close it is in this game between, let's say, competitive drivers, right? Obviously, we drive around, and obviously anyone can take part in the, I'm not going to forget the name of it, club. That's it. It's a club.
Yes.
I was going to say league, but anyone can take part in the club. It's free to join. You can find it on the Discord. I'm sure there's more than likely going to be a command in the Twitch chat. Should you wish to find the club, go in, pop a time in, see whether you can. Well, basically, see whether you're with these guys up at the front at the sweaty end, or whether you're back with me and TK at the back driving the producer cars.
It won't be just us. I've just watched a ball with Adam Sanderson. He's currently, I think, 215th. Patterson not far behind him at the end of stage 7 there. We might be able to pull him in for a quick chat. We haven't spoken to Adam tonight, have we?
I think we spoke to him once. We're going to speak to him again.
Yes,
I spoke to him before the broadcast, so it all blurs into one.
Let's drag him in ever so quickly. Adam, welcome in. How do you think you're going so far? Just completed stage 7. Whereabouts are you standing in the time?
Have you seen my car?
We haven't. We've
seen your car going
design.
skyward.
Yeah. Oh yeah, baby. So the last service station, I accidentally double-clicked select, so I repaired the car. Nothing. My tires. To be fair, I've got new tires on, new softs on. But to be honest with you, it's all been fine. Other than once I clipped this lamppost that was just made out of something from another planet. It didn't budge an inch. My car wrapped around it. That was lovely. The jumps have been cool using the Kenya setup, which has been awful upon landing.
Yep.
But no, to be fair, it's going okay, but not repairing the car, and then a couple of incidents. And actually, a bit of a PSA for you guys: don't text and drive, because I looked down at my phone because it started beeping, and I normally have it facing down. I had it facing up this time. Stupid mistake. And then I was in a field of wheat, unable to get back on track, and it automatically reset me. So don't do that. That's bad.
We saw very similar with Patterson deciding to take a trip to the lake earlier, and getting himself a 30-second reset penalty as well. But you managed to at least change the tyres. I know on my run I forgot to change the tyres. I did remember to repair though, then promptly got a puncture. So I think it is one of those things to pay attention to when you're playing through WRC. Obviously, is that the menus are just as important as the driving.
Oh, honestly, seriously, and just don't double hit a button. Wait for the game to react. I don't know, adrenaline. Maybe I'll shake it. A double hit. I was like, oh no, that's it. That's me done.
We're looking forward to the next launch for the Connor Sport Space Program.
Tell you what though, the paint job on this car right now is beautiful. Honestly, colors. Oh, chef's kiss.
We were talking about it earlier. Did you commission that, or is it a EA Sports cross promotion, or did you make it yourself, or?
I just made it myself, mate. I coming into this, I came in with the ethos of I know I'm not going to be the quickest because you got Punju who's vying for esports. Rift Blondie is being an absolute weapon in this game, and they've just been like practicing loads. I come in, no practice. I at least want to look good, so I decided to make the Connor Sport-esque logo. Livery, and I think it looks absolutely quality.
So you're going to be repairing the bodywork at your next repair, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'll be the first thing on the top of the list. I don't care about the internals. Let's just make sure I look good while doing it.
Amazing stuff.
Appreciate you guys. Oh, I'm late. I gotta go. Sorry, guys.
Go.
Bye.
Always great to talk to Adam.
Oh, if there's one man who might not have a clue what he's doing, but looks good whilst he's doing it, it is our Adam Sanderson, I'll tell you that.
Oh, dear.
Patterson threw one of the jumps to the top right. I don't know how he's held that.
Oh, my word.
That wiggling.
I genuinely, I always feel a bit nervous about putting his stream up full screen because it's scary.
It is terrifying. Like, the field of view from that front camera. He's into some bushes. It makes him look like he's going a million miles an hour, and I don't know how he holds it. It's
uncomfortable viewing. Especially if I feel sorry for those viewers who are watching in full screen because, Jesus, he's getting close to an awful lot of things. Why is he racing to the marshal? It's like he's trying to. Trying to make everyone feel somewhat uncomfortable. Oh dear.
And it's just a question of
There's a couple of other drivers that enjoyed racing the Marshall. I remember Hoodie Pete back in Rally Sweden. He had a very close call with the Marshalls back then. I believe that ended up on social media, actually. His little slide and almost took out one of the volunteers at the end, but fortunately braked in time. Everybody else just finding their way through. Adam Sanderson, I think, on stage 8 now. So over halfway through. That's a success for some of our creators here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know that I almost DNF'd 4 or 5 times. Obviously, we lost Gareth very early on. And it's having that snap control in the moment, which I think we've seen from Patterson, and just a little sprinkling of luck, which I guess is what we've seen more from Adam, as he's driving past, I believe, the lake as he pops his car into neutral and gets it going again. The lake that Patterson went to visit.
Yes. We got very lucky there, I think. Where are we? We're on board with Punju. I'm going to assume this is now stage 9. He seems to be running the stages quite well. If I can just have a look, see if I can see him on stage 8, that would be a good tell for us. Just give me 1 minute. I mean, Eyes Amusing on stage 8 has set the fastest sector time of all of them. He's 5 seconds clear over a 2-minute 44 stage. That tells you how quick that man is flying over the last couple.
See if we can see what he's up to as well. Nope, pushed the wrong button. There we go. So yeah, they're on the same stage at the moment, whichever one it may be.
That'll be stage 9, I want to say.
Yeah, it looks like a shorter stage based on... You've got the little indicator up the side there on Eyes Amusing screen, and it looks like one of the shorter stages, which stage 9 is, if I recall correctly. It's either 8 or 9, because those are the 2 short ones.
I think they might be on different ones.
We've got Eyes Amusing on stage 8 with a time, so this must be stage 9 for Eyes.
Yeah. I can't find a stage 8 time for Punju at the moment. Aerotech's finished. He was P55 over that stage, but I think, yeah, Punju must be on stage 8 at the moment, unless something went truly, truly wrong for him.
Does look like a different stage, as we see Eyes Amusing going over some of those jumps with, frankly, ludicrous amounts of speed, and judging by his reaction, more confidence that maybe those jumps deserved.
I love that he's got the biggest grin on his face. He's like a kid at Christmas as he launches over those. Everyone else would be absolutely terrified. He's just grinning through all of them.
Grinning ear to ear. I mean, it's a testament to what's the most enjoyable thing about this game. Honestly, I enjoy it as a casual gamer, basically playing through it, and undoubtedly having weird and wonderful shenanigans throughout my runs, whereas Eyes Amusing, now having developed to this level, it's more the entertainment of all of the close calls that you find yourself escaping narrowly, because you've got that muscle memory to just flick yourself past the tree or post or whatever it is most of the time.
Yeah, it must be a nice kind of balance out for the likes of Isa, Vlembar, guys like that who, you know, race at a very high level in WRC. Yes, they're going for the top spot in the club and over the stages, but obviously they can take it that step down. It's not a very sweaty environment. They have that opportunity to just have a bit of fun on the stages like everybody else is doing. And I think that really shows with a lot of our creators who always finish with smiles on their faces, whether they've crashed out in stage 1 or they've made it to the end with a very, very damaged car.
Yeah, and I mean, just to illustrate the point, we've got Adam now just starting stage 9, but I did just see a little achievement pop up in the bottom corner for him. He's only driven 100 miles.
Wow.
So actually, him only just receiving that achievement says exactly how much experience he's got in the game, and you can see that he's enjoying it. And then obviously you've got Isa, Punju, all of the rest of the guys who have significantly more hours in the game, and they're just enjoying it in a bit of a different way, let's say.
Yeah, exactly that. You can see Dark Viper in the bottom right hand. He's obviously got some bonnet damage that must be limiting his view somewhat, probably by about 50%. But again, smile on his face, or at least what I can tell in that very dark room. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses that bonnet very quickly when the wind starts to turn the other way. A jump up coming for him as he just manages to hold it. Not a very big one, but nonetheless navigated very well.
Personally, having played on an HDR monitor before, I'm amazed that he has it so dark in there. His eyes are having to adapt to quite dark scenes when he goes through shadows, and then you sort of flick past things and you can see the flashes on his face. I'm surprised it doesn't affect him more, because I've had the glare from an HDR monitor cause me issues in games like Battlefield 5 and those sorts of things where you have those sort of dramatic changes from dark to light.
Whatever
But it
it
seems
is,
to handle
it's
it
clearly
well.
working. Yeah, I wonder if he runs it similarly in F1, obviously in the F2 Creator Series this weekend. He's been very quick. I think he won the race last time out in China. He's a very quick driver, both on gravel and tarmac. So whatever's working for him must be working.
We can see that Punju edged out Aerotech on that last stage by 1/10 of a second.
Wow.
With Isaac, missed Isaac using his time, but maybe we could grab Punju for a quick chat.
Yeah, let's drag him across.
If you can grab him for me.
Where it does that? Is it out in the fields?
Welcome in, Mr. Punji.
Oh, hey.
How are you doing? What are your aims now that you've made it through? I want to say stage 9, but it might be stage 8.
I think that. Let me check which stage that was. That was stage 9. We're on stage 10
Stage
now. Honestly, I'm fighting off Aerotech right now. He is fast today, so that is all I'm trying to do is just survive.
Within
against this
1/10 of each
onslaught that
other.
he's provided me. Yeah, on that last one, it was 7/100ths of a second on that last stage. Cumulative, we're not far off. I think I maybe haven't beat by 10 seconds max.
So you're on a 39.01 and he's on 39.10. So yeah, you got less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Just
awesome.
under.
Wow, that is scary. So yeah, he is. I'm just trying to defend at this point. I'm not even trying to attack, just defend. He's got
Try
my
and
defense.
keep that little bit ahead. But 10 seconds, you can't afford to back up much, drive defensively much, because if he throws it over those jumps and you're being cautious, he'll get you.
He will. And also, if I have any mistake when it comes to like a reset or a jump start, which I already did one jump start because I'm a dum-dum. There's infinite ways for me to lose these 10 seconds. So, yeah, we'll see. But it's tight. It's close.
So you're at a service area now. Have you done your repairs already, or?
I have not. Let's. I'm curious how much I have to do. I don't think it's too bad. I lied to you. It's a pretty good amount of stuff. Oh, that's brutal. I have an engine, an exhaust, radiator, suspension, bodywork, and gearbox.
Significantly less triangles than I saw when I was running this the other day.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a rainbow.
Yeah.
Punju. It's
And
not a
it's
rainbow.
not a
You're
rainbow.
doing fine.
Well,
No
you're
problem.
right. You know what? I appreciate your bright side thinking. That's
A little
good.
bit
I
of spit
like
and
that.
polish and it'll buff right out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm debating how much I want to risk.
How much
it
to
take
risk.
full fixes. Yeah, I feel like it's not really worth the risk to take full fixes and just go ahead and quick fix stuff instead.
Risk it for a biscuit.
Interesting you're not
You know-
fixing bodywork. There we go. He's just switched it
Well,
over.
I can't now because I'm gonna take a 7-second penalty.
That's not a 7-second penalty.
okay.
That's
Oh, if you
estimated
didn't do
time
the
to repair
shakedown,
it.
you would have less time.
Yeah, but
it's guaranteed.
whole
I did
fixed
the
None of these
times.
are
shakedown.
variables.
I just
Oh.
don't know if I gave you the time.
Yeah, so
It
I'm
gives you an extra
guaranteed
set of
to
whatever
take
tires
that,
you picked for the
at this
shakedown.
current moment. So
Oh,
it's
I think
not
I did
How
the
are we
super
doing?
softs.
gonna do
Oh
body
well.
work.
Yeah, that got me in
Crushing with
practice.
it,
Yeah,
probably.
the only thing
Or-
I remember as someone who does a lot of damage to their car is what Isa told
I
us a
am
few weeks
zero
back, that bodywork
on this
protects
last
your
stage,
other
I was
components.
0.004
So it's worth repairing to stop the
slower
damage to
than
the other
Panju.
components.
So I
but
think I am.
as a driver who
happy
does
with
less
that.
damage to
Yeah.
his car
Good.
in the
Nice. Cooking.
the run through the rally.
Skip the engine,
What's the
right?
secret?
Literally
What's the
just fix
secret?
engine.
Nah.
It's the
I mean-
lightest damage. I mean, it is the one with the least amount of damage. So
Give it a little kick, it'll be fine.
yeah,
If I was
And
in
we'll
your
take the,
shoes, I would probably skip the gearbox unless it's actually causing you trouble already.
it's on medium. It's
Leave my Freebird alone. He
could
did
start
nothing
causing
wrong.
troubles.
I mean, that tax the
And
Freebird. It's not
with
free
this
anymore.
being, you know,
No!
all three of them are decently long.
tax my
I'd
Freebird!
rather it
It's the British way.
be fine.
That's fair.
I could just run slightly lower revs and play the safe. Yeah,
I
agree.
think
don't
I
agree.
think
gonna
I
have some
think you're
words with
fine.
me in a
I
minute.
don't think you need to repair
Can we put
anything.
on,
I'll be honest, because I think your
super
car
softs
looks
now
better than
or
mine did
not?
after repairs.
I'm not. I'm
Coming in
betting-
with
I'm
a red
betting on
turbo,
the,
the brakes were
Yeah.
damaged,
Super
the
stage.
clutch was
Yep.
damaged,
And they might
and
be
in
rejected
fact I
by
had
the
diff damage at one
Yeah,
point
okay,
as well.
cool. Right, I'll leave it.
Um,
How'd you do that?
I'll
I mean,
keep
if you've
myself.
got, if you're
I
on
don't know,
softs
I just
right
drive
now, they
different,
should
I
be
guess.
okay for another 3
He
stages,
drives
but if
different,
you're on
get a
super
differential.
Yeah,
softs,
yeah,
it might be
We-
I'll line you up, you
I've
swing,
got
mate.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yes, I always need to- I need some help with that.
I just
I
want to
think
see
I'm
the
gonna take
roll now. You're taking the
I
risk
think I'm
on.
gonna-
Good as fuck.
I think I'm gonna risk this.
Gotta
Yeah,
please the
let's
sponsors
try it.
after all.
Let's take the 2-minute
Damn
risk.
right. You're damn right.
50-50
Uh,
really.
Delivery, and I must
Oh,
say,
shit.
It is entirely
it's
50-50.
So beauty.
So we'll see.
Oh my
So
God,
if
I'm
people are new to the
starting
game,
that
talk them
stage,
through
no.
what
Good
the
luck.
risk of that
Oh, yeah, it is time.
penalty
Okay,
is,
good luck.
essentially.
That's the risk right there.
Send
So
help.
there's a
Send a
4-minute
recovery car for
variable
my
as
car
to
in
how
the next
long
week.
Truck, yeah.
shoot the repair can
I'll
take.
make sure it's filled with
and,
Kit
if
Kats.
you go over the time, you get served a penalty. Right now, I just went a
You have
minute over my
something
time because
something
I took
sweet.
a 4-minute gamble on 2-minute worth of extra.
That's a
And,
20-second
and I got
penalty. So you've just gone
20-second
from
penalty.
10 seconds in front to 10 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
I
are we going
have.
from defense to attack now?
That we are. We're gonna go send it now. Let's see what we got. In
Excellent.
fact, I'm going to be extra sendy, and I am now going to change my strategy. You pop on the super softs now instead of waiting for the the power stage.
Only one spare
And-
tire, though.
I don't need one.
Okay.
I don't think I personally don't think I need it, but
It's
I'll keep it
it's
just in
very
I
long
needed
next
it.
couple of stages. I think it's over 35 kilometers over the next 3.
it's a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Or decent amount of distance. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, good amount. So 10, 15, 20, 30 kilometers, 30 miles. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, yep. So let's hope the super soft pays off.
Best of luck.
Well, best of luck.
Cross
We'll
fingers.
see you. We'll
Thanks, y'all.
see you on the other side, so to speak.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll drop Punji back in there. But yeah, I think he's got one more service available at the final stage. But yeah, he's got a 17.1 kilometer. Oh, what am I looking at?
Finally,
Oh,
we get to see it in
Look
all of
at
its
the
glory.
beauty of that.
The Connor Sport Space Program first shuttle ready for launch again.
The KSS 1. Connor Sports Space. Yeah.
Yeah, I
KSSP
mean,
1.
I just want to see it go skyward. I'm going to leave him in that bottom
Yeah.
corner, and we're going to have a look and see what Patterson's going to get up to as he starts the stage.
Just going back to that service thing very quickly. They have one at the start of stage 10. They then have to run 3 stages. I think it's a combined like 35, 40 kilometers. And they get another one before the final stage. So fortunately, Punji will have an extra service I don't think he saw right at the end there.
Yeah,
but
there's a little one right at the end.
yeah, it's a long slog to the end of this rally. I think you've got a 17 kilometers over the next 4 stages.
I mean, it's not as bad as Mexico was. Mexico,
No, but there
was it
less
Mexico with the
stages.
20? Oh, Patterson getting stuck
That-
with another 28-second
Ooh.
penalty for going off track. It's a fickle mistress when you go off, because I went further off track than what Patterson did there on the little drift track part. I got
Yeah.
lost, to be completely honest, and kept driving around the outside until I found a gap in the fence and drove my way back in. I think I just managed to keep myself sort of following the track as I went. There's Adam seems to be doing something on Steam, so let's just ride on board with Patterson and curse him. Oh, no, he's managed to keep it under control.
Somehow, even though he can't see the entirety of the body of his car, somehow he's keeping it on between the trees. That's really the only way that I can describe it as they run through Estonia. Eyes laser focused, not quite full bug catcher mode as we've seen with Tom in previous seasons. Had he spotted the chicane though? And yeah, just gets it looks so much quicker than it was.
I just find it scary. And I
It
know
looks
I'm repeating
like
myself, but it's
$1,000,000,
the camera angle. It is just the camera angle. It's why I run in chase cam, because I'm just a coward. I've got peer pressured out of it last time out, but yeah, most of the time it's running in chase cameras. I think we've got ambient Mike in with us, so we can have a quick chat. Hello, Mike.
How's it going?
I seem to have lost your stream. Let's see if I can get it back quickly.
Unfortunately, seems like we're having a couple of spotty connections on my stream, but I guess I'd
That's all
rather
right, I've
have
got
the
you back.
stream be spotty and not the driving. So
That's all good. So your driving's generally been going well. We haven't had you on camera as much as we may have hoped, purely because, again, we've had you drop out a couple of times, but seeing you come in, I knew that you were back, so I've got you plugged in as we see you absolutely, for want of a better term, yeeting it over the hills of Estonia.
hopefully we're having connection issues just because I'm driving too quick. But so far, pretty good. Mistakes have been kept to a minimum. I had a little bit of a tree excursion over one of the jumps a few stages back, but been pretty happy and in really quite a good fight with Vlumbar.
Yes, how's that fight going for you at the moment?
So far, I'm in the lead. I think we have now, after this stage, about a 7-second gap, but that 7 seconds could go in one spin. So holding my cards close to me, but decent so far. A few single tenth time differences between me and him.
And I imagine that top spot is completely out of the question, considering you're about 30 seconds off that now.
I would definitely say so. What do you mean is a player I've known for a long while. He's definitely a consummate professional, truly an alien, and I'm happy to be a few tenths off his stage times, to be honest. Definitely, but he is out of reach at this point.
I'll just blame it on the car difference, because he's in the Ford.
Yeah, for the most part, luckily this class seems to be fairly equal. The general consensus seems to be that the Ford Fiesta probably has a little bit more downforce, and so it's a little bit better through the corners, considering it's a newer generation or a later model of the 2017 regulations. The VW definitely really good in a straight line, and certainly great at Estonia. So they have a few small differences, but thankfully not too many.
And the
Yeah, of
VW
course.
being your car of choice, or just a car that you've chosen to do alongside Blembar for a bit of a challenge?
I certainly enjoy them both. The main reason, for the most part, I had a livery ready to go on the VW. I certainly really like them both. The audio from this car is actually coming from the Rallycross VW R, which is certainly one of my favorite engine audios of all time. So maybe a little bit of bias there.
Is that? I was just going to ask. Obviously, Can you create your own liveries in this in some regard, or download them?
Yeah, so you can create your own liveries. There is a livery editor that has its own sort of bespoke um, manufacturers on it. So definitely takes a lot of creativity and a lot of time, but I definitely enjoyed it about equally as much as driving the stages.
Yeah, I think we've seen a couple of drivers. I think Adam Sanderson's put a custom livery on for this weekend, but I'll tell you what, the cars look absolutely stunning no matter what they're running, and just an absolutely incredible thing.
Yeah, even a plain white rally car flying through a forest still is a gorgeous sight.
Oh, stunning! And what's your aim for the next kind of few stages? Obviously, you've just I think you've just gone through a repair stage into stage 10. Some very long stages ahead of you.
Indeed. Yeah, for the most part, I'm just kind of looking to keep the consistency there. If I could eke the gap out to Vlumbar a little bit more, I'd be happy. I'm saving a set of super soft tires for the power stage. So at this point, it's just no panic and keep it going.
Amazing
Excellent.
stuff. Well, we'll let you get back to stage 10, and best of luck from all of us here.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go. So we've got. I'm confused now because I thought B-Roy and Dark Viper were on the same stage, but clearly they're not.
I think they were meant to be from the initial kind of. I'm trying to do the cross calculations here. They were meant to be starting at the same time. So one of them's obviously hopped in either a little bit early or a little bit late. I know B-Roy was running ever so slightly behind at one point, but trying to figure out where they are.
I mean, because
obviously,
even with the darkness settings of Dark Viper's screen, I don't think it gets that dark, right?
No, because to me that's the only stage that was dark was the final stage.
Has he managed to?
Has he hopped everyone?
Potentially. I guess we'll have to catch up with him afterwards and find out. In the meantime, I think I'm going to plug Patterson's game into that slot so that we can actually hear some audio. As that's the only car which is sending me their audio, and I don't really want to stop them to say, please, can I hear your cars?
Has Patterson changed his camera angle for this run?
Yes.
I popped to stream earlier, before we went live, and he was experimenting with chase cam very briefly. But then, obviously, when we started the rally, he was on his traditional nose camera and thought, okay, maybe it was just a bit of a shits and giggles run. But no, he's now choosing the chase cam.
Interesting. Because this is my camera of choice, just because you get a better idea geographically of where your car is, right? You know, like dodging that little bollard there by flicking the rear out and then snapping it back before it gets caught. You wouldn't be able to do that from the onboard, or at least I wouldn't be able to do that from the onboard. I don't have a good enough knowledge of the geography of the car around me as I'm driving. This is why I see a sort of a big advantage in that. Very unrealistic chase cam. Almost call it drone cam nowadays, right? It's just a drone that's chasing the car. But I'll be honest, I think that Patterson's actually struggling more with it than he is getting an advantage from it.
Yeah, it must be really weird to transition from that nose cam where you're kind of connected to the car a little bit more, especially as Patterson's on the wheel. I think controller would be a little bit easier in this. You're somewhat disconnected. You know you're controlling a computer car, whereas if you're on a wheel, you've kind of got that connection to the car in front of you. You're trying to figure out what those front tires are doing, which are probably a considerable 6-7 feet ahead, and that must really start to boggle the mind.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the logic is behind changing it partway through, unless, like us, he was starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable with the sheer rate of knots, frankly, that he was taking through some of the levels.
Yeah, quite potentially. Of course, maybe the jumps coming into effect in the cockpit cam. Some of our drivers, it's another reset penalty for him. But in the cockpit cam, you could already see the sky and pretty much nothing else. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like on the nose cam, but at least here with the drone cam, the chase cam, clipping the ambulance there, we're not going to worry about that too much. But yeah, so at least in chase cam, he might have a better field of view as to his landing reference. That's probably why he switched in this latter stage.
Potentially. I think I'm going to be looking for him undeafening in a second.
I was about to do the same thing.
Grab him and have a little chat.
Yeah, as soon as we see him on deaf, and we'll get him in. That front right of the car looking rather abused as he heads through the latter stages. Maybe clipping a couple of trees, but yeah, we'll see if we can get his input on why the camera switch happened, if it was intentional, accidental, or a mixture of all of the above, realistically.
So we've got Vlembar and Kamikaze both going through the same stage now, I believe. Yes, with Kamikaze just a little bit further ahead, but both of them setting an absolutely blistering pace again. They've been exchanging times, the whole group of them, to be completely honest. Obviously, we've got Ambient Mike primarily being the person competing with Vlembar on the overall time perspective, but the stage times have been sort of jostling between this group of sort of Ambient Mike, Vlembar, Kamikaze. The last stage, they finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and obviously, when we were chatting with Mike, he mentioned, what do you mean, as the chap who had finished that stage fastest and is overall currently running fastest. So it's really interesting to see, obviously, such high levels of competition between people who have, let's say, slightly different styles when it's coming to how they're approaching, as I see Kamikaze going through a bush. And yes, Wilco in the chat, they've gotten past where Gareth crashed at stage 1.
Yeah, everyone managed to make it through. I just noticed Patterson's on deafened, so I'm going to drag him in very quickly. Patterson, welcome in for another chat here in the commentary box. The first thing I kind of want to sort of discuss with you, we've noticed your camera angles changed from the start of the run to where you are now. You're now in that drone cam, that chase cam. Talk us through that.
I just wanted to change something up. I've been getting some crazy penalties with the bumper cam, so I thought, you know what, I'll change it up. And this is how I used to race the cars as a kid, like on the games. So I thought, you know what, let's take it back to a bit of nostalgia and yeah, back to the Need for Speed days.
Has it been working out better than the nose cam has, or is it kind of a little bit to get used to?
I can do it. No, I can do it very easy, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really struggling with Estonia now.
I think a lot of the creators happen, especially the jumps. They tend to pitch the car up. We've been seeing it on broadcast and speeds on the drivers. That's really been causing havoc, especially I think the ones that are still to come, where you're running the stages in reverse.
Yes. Oh, the one where we went onto a tarmac track. Oh my god, that was dreadful. I struggled so much with that.
Yeah, it completely changes the tyre profiles in a way. They're not designed for that tarmac road, so you kind of find yourself slipping around a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, I was just skidding and I'm like, is this ever going to stop?
That's my favourite bit.
It stopped when I hit the barriers.
I found the track to be my favourite bit. It was the one bit where I felt like I had some semblance of control.
Yeah, B-Roy said the same. He said he loved it.
I guess it's a bit of a Marmite section, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
I mean, to be fair, most of the stages when we were going through there, I had a rear puncture, which I imagine probably made the gravel that much worse. So
Yeah,
maybe that's all it was.
yeah.
So we're coming into the final few stages now. Do you have a particular target in mind, or are you just seeing where it falls and just throwing everything you've got at it?
Well, 2 stages ago, we was having a little battle with Captain Sparkles because there was only 4 seconds difference. And then I got a stage there that had 2 minutes 31 of penalties. So I think that's going to have hindered us a little bit.
Just a bit, yeah. Unfortunately.
I'm going to have to try and send it now.
Dust yourself off and see whether you can close the gap a little bit. Pretend that 2 minutes doesn't count and have a look at where you would have been, eh?
That's it. And if we DNF, we DNF.
That's the attitude to have. Love it. Well,
Thanks
we'll let you
very
get back to the
much.
stage.
Good luck.
Cheers for-
No worries, thank you.
And so, not long to go now.
No,
Lots of stages.
3 or 4 stages, depending on who's where at the moment. Obviously, the longest stages on this Estonia rally, but I think that power stage, stage 13, is really going to be crucial for some of our drivers here.
Yeah, and I think we might actually be able to grab Kamikaze, and he's carrying a different name in the Discord. So if you want to see if we can grab him.
Kamikaze, welcome in.
Yeah.
Oh, you are very quiet.
I'll boost him up, don't worry. Don't do it your side, I've got you. How's the rally been for you so far?
Not so good, but we managed to be top 10, so yep. We rolled it on the first stage after fall.
I wish for the day where I could say that my rally was going not so good and still be in the top 10. It looks like you're having a nice little fight with a couple of the other guys. Who do you think is going to come out on top?
Between me or the total?
2 seconds, I'll just grab it.
I think Isa is 30 seconds in front of me, something. So, yep. But then we need to start pushing. But
yeah, you've got Isa about 30 seconds in front, and then obviously you've got Vlembar about another 30 seconds further up the road. But do you think you're going to be able to grab it back during the power stage, or do you think they've got you bang to rights? It's a lot of time to make up.
yeah, it's too much. The guys in front is too fast. So we will. I think Vlembar is 1 minute and 10 seconds in front of me or something. So, yep. We will do our best. We will definitely just send it on the 3 last stages. So even maybe a stage win or 2 or DNF.
I think that's the way, right? Send it, and it's either glory or a tree.
Yeah, and we have saved our best tires to the last stage, so hope we can have the same
excellent
damage. So yep,
So
we will have some fun on the last one as well.
Get some of those extra points. So obviously you're running a little bit behind the rest of the group, but where do you feel you've lost the time?
I lost the time in the first stage. It's over a minute lost in the first one. So yep.
Fortunate. TK, anything from you?
No, nothing for me. I'll just best of luck in the last few stages, and hopefully maybe a couple of positions climbed for yourself.
Thank you.
That's appreciated. Well, oh, there we go. He's dropped himself back. Lovely. Yeah, it's a real tough one. I think we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, some of the pro drivers around the Estonia Rally have always said it's a really, really difficult group of stages to gain that time back if you lose it on one specific stage. And of course, Kamikaze mentioning that they lost it in that first stage over a minute and really, really struggling to claw back that time. It's so fast, it's so flowing that getting quick times for those pro drivers is actually not too far distant. The seconds really start to matter.
Indeed, they do. I do think, though, we've got a little bit of a treat having Vlembar and Kamikaze running so
Adam's
close
out.
to each other.
Adam's out.
Where's he?
Adam's just had thermal damage.
Oh,
He's crashed into a bale. That's all I saw. He jumped, and it was bail and good night.
Unfortunate. Let's see if we can grab a hold of the man and see if we can get him to run a replay for us.
He's still deafened for the time being. I'm sure he.
I mean, I think we'll grab him anyway.
Oh, okay.
we'll grab him anyway in this scenario, and we'll wait for him to undeafen
there we
himself,
go.
and then he can regale us with the tale of the wanton hay bale.
What? Who put that hay bale there after a jump? Who thought?
For the benefit of us in the box who missed it, would you mind throwing the replay up?
Yeah. Oh, terminal damage. I know. All right, let's get it up. Oh, here's me stalling it.
Oh.
To be fair, this stage was going quality. Other than that stall, it was some sick lines, mate. That could be in a WRC trailer, for God's sake. And then all of a sudden, oh, look at that shot. Oh, hang on.
Pictures taken seconds before disaster.
Literally. All right, here we go. This is the jump. Over we go. Oh my God, Bale. Do you see how quick my game was over?
Oh.
How? Like,
Did you see the clip of Gareth at the start?
I did, with the chicane, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, what stage designer thought that was a safe thing to do? Like...
A rally stage designer.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the people who... yeah.
Oh, seriously, like, there's nothing... Well, as soon as I left, because, again, I didn't know it was there, my pilot said, all right, slight left. I was like, cool, that's fine. I'll take a slight left entrance. But, yeah, there's nothing I could do. I was in the air. I was like, well, that's me done. Look.
The Connor Sport space program ends in disaster.
Yeah.
That's flight 1 has been abandoned.
Leave, nothing. Touch.
Unfortunate to see it end that way for you, Adam. But I assume we will be seeing you back next season.
Oh, of course, I'll be back. I mean, don't get me wrong, this sucks, but the game is incredible. It's so much fun. I love it. Like, I think I can't remember who was in the comms box, but a couple of weeks ago, and I was racing, I was telling the story about whenever me and my brother used to go on family holidays, we always used to try and find like rally arcade games. We used to live on them. It was brilliant. And this brings back so many good memories. And the racing is just incredible. So yeah, I'll be back. We're back next season.
You will be pleased to know that the patch notes that are coming out, I believe, next week, maybe the week after, do state that terminal damage will now be recoverable. You'll be given a penalty time and you'll be towed to the end of the stage. So this won't happen again to you, hopefully.
Yeah, no, 100%. At least, oh well, at least you got me on broadcast spinning it. But yeah, I think it is coming out tomorrow. I'm right in saying. So yeah, hopefully I'll last a bit longer because last week I DNF'd. Week before and the week before that I didn't. But yeah, 50% DNF success rate for me. I'll take it.
Well, I DNF'd at Monte Carlo and I managed to escape DNFing in Mexico through liberal use of the reset to track. So
Nice.
that is my cheese for the day that you can take away and use next time.
Next time I'm going to try and pause reset to track as quickly as possible. I just
pause the moment you're in the air.
Yeah, every single time. Pause, scout the area, safe to land, continue.
Excellent.
Actually, to be fair, that's not a bad strat.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure to have you, Adam. As always.
Thank you very much, guys.
Shame about the result, but we'll see you next time. Unless TK, you want to add anything?
No, nothing. It was just I apologise to everyone on the broadcast for about screaming Adams out about 5 times in your ears because I saw it at the top of the screen.
Oh dear.
Oh, well, thanks very much, guys, for having me. And again, guys, you do an amazing job. Keep it up. You're incredible. Thank you. Until
Thank
next
you so
time.
much, mate.
Cheers. Take care.
Oh, that was. I saw it at the top of your. So, for context to anyone at home, Rob very creatively puts these broadcasts together, and I watch on a screen share on Discord. And I can see a various number of people's streams at once. And currently, Adam Sanderson's is at the top center of the screen share. And I was watching something, you were talking through what was going on, and I just see Adam crash into a barrel at the corner of my eye, and I'm like, that's important.
Yeah. It's an interesting way that we set up the broadcast for this, very different to how we do the F1 Creator Series. It's been a very interesting technical challenge, and the guys at EA have been very supportive in helping us to make this kind of broadcast a reality where we're able to obviously watch multiple drivers at the same time. It does have its limitations. I'm sure that you do see every now and then there's a little bit of choppiness on some of the streams coming through, but overall I think it's a really solid package, and yeah, one of the best ways to watch rally. In my opinion.
There's no better way to watch motorsport than watching a lot of motorsport at once.
As we see Patterson meeting a concrete bollard and giving himself both radiator and engine damage if he didn't have it already. I'm sure some of that was pre-existing, but he's added to his woes now.
Yeah, interesting that you switched back to that nose cam after running drone cam for the last stage. Maybe just feeling a little bit more comfortable in the car this time around. You can see Punju on the left-hand side there, just making his way through the final few jumps of that stage. They can sometimes catch people out. There's a little bit of a dip left and right and can really unsettle the car if you kind of land wrong, or in our case from a few days ago, have the suspension set to super firm.
Yeah, running a Kenya setup on a stage with so many jumps was not the play.
It really wasn't.
We see Patterson experimenting while driving with the camera and slamming it down again. It was these sorts of jumps where, yeah, his car's... How did that not do... He must have a puncture from that, surely. The corner hit that.
That front left has definitely dipped ever so slightly. I'm not sure if
I think he's a lucky boy.
I think he is. I mean, we would have seen it when he stopped. It would normally prompt you to fix that tire, and it definitely didn't this time around. Who was it earlier that had the teddy bear on the front of their car? I can't remember who was running.
It looked like Sparkles, maybe. Let's have a look. Did I pull that up correctly? No, I didn't. There we go.
I think no, he switched to an interior view. I can't remember who was running. If you know in the chat, let us know. But it definitely wasn't a teddy bear. Just to clarify, it was definitely their intake cooler or whatever it was. But it looked like a teddy bear strapped to the front.
It was damage, basically, wasn't it? It was a loose radiator that caused the not loose radiator, a loose bonnet that was flapping up, and then you could see some of the exposed bodywork underneath. As Adam is admiring the Connor Sport space program car, he takes some wonderful pictures and shares them in the Discord afterwards. It's great to see, and it's great to see all the content that, frankly, everyone shares in the community.
And if you're not in the Discord already, !Discord in the chat, at least on Twitch, I'm fairly sure that works.
Oh, let's test it.
Come and join.
Yeah, it's a very welcoming and very mixed skill level. Obviously, if you're someone like us who hasn't really played that many rally games before, let alone on a wheel, you won't expect the top. But you'll find people who you can compete with and who you can develop a rivalry with.
Have a puncture.
Does he? Which corner?
He's got no. I don't know, but he's got no spare tire.
I know that feeling.
It popped up with the icon showing no spare, so that's. I'm assuming that inflicts that he's got a puncture that he cannot repair.
Yeah, basically it comes up red. If you can't repair it. As I'm just scouting out for someone else who might be driving, so we can make it a little bit bigger, and hopefully see a little bit more. Riff Blondie, again, has come on leaps and bounds. Maybe the last couple of stages more so. Than Patterson, who we've just seen sort of increasing improvement across the course of the whole thing. But like Rift Blondie's speed increase has been meteoric, frankly.
Oh, truly, and especially after her kind of, I don't want to call it a practice session because it wasn't a practice session, but getting those tips from Kamikaze earlier on and being able to run through with essentially a coach in your ear has really helped not only her speed but her confidence into every single corner. I think what once was quite a timid entry into most, she was always a little bit nervous on the rallies, didn't quite trust the car. Look at it today, sending it, albeit
through the trees,
threading the needle there, but the
no
confidence
fear.
she has for every corner, absolutely spectacular difference to what we saw just a few weeks ago.
And it just goes to show that with rally, it does feel like versus the F1 game, the sort of the skill, how to put it, the skill curve is much shallower. Yeah, so it's easier to get closer to the speed of those at the top end. Like, to be clear, you won't get those last few seconds, but you'll get that much closer and feel like you're closer very quickly, compared to in the F1 game where it becomes very much about making absolutely sure that every single corner is perfect every single time. Otherwise, you're losing time.
Yeah, I think that really goes to show, and I'm looking at the time over the complete run at the moment. There's only about half an hour between first place and last place finishes, and over a course that takes an hour minimum. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you will have the people who have suffered with significant penalties at the bottom, myself included. You know, I took, I think, 90 seconds for a change of tyre, 2.5 minutes for this, 4 minutes for that. I more focus on sort of individual stage performances than the overall, and I like to go, all right, this is the stage where I'm going to do quite well. And I think I had a couple of those this run. But it is nice that you can have the sort of ability as a community to sort of mix it up, if you like, and everyone helps each other with setups, and I found it to be a really positive experience to be part of.
Yeah, I think it's something we mentioned last week on broadcast. It's like there's always going to be someone that you can try and challenge for a position, or you know, try and beat them in that next stage. They might have beaten you by a couple of seconds this stage. You know, they've laid down that time for you to beat next time around. They might not know you're racing each other, but you'll always have someone kind of within your skill group or within your pace group, and that is fantastic.
Let's see, Dark Viper's actually looking at the finishing board. He found himself in 88th, and somehow his camera's upside down. I assume he's done that his side, because that is a new one for me.
He's getting prepped for Rally Australia, apparently.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is really funny to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Kath, we'll note that one up and double check that it wasn't us. But yeah, he's running about 88th. After all said and done, very respectable.
And we mentioned earlier that I thought stage 13 was the only stage that was at night, and obviously must have been true as he's finished.
Yeah, I mean he's done the speed run. Yeah.
Yes,
he has done the speedrun, and I've spoken to a couple of other creators who are interested in being involved, and you know, the breaks do extend the time. It does allow us to get the opportunity, obviously, to talk to everyone which we like, but it does extend the time on stream, and I can completely understand wanting to, let's say, expedite things a little bit in order to get the levels done. But yeah, as we see, just scouting out for anyone else who might be active on stage at the moment.
I know Sparkles has finished. He's in his little prep area, ready to go. From what can I assume?
Yeah, let's show everyone what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
I'm looking at an array of cars sat in their garage, probably waiting for their departure time, and Mike, who's driving.
Yeah. It's at the varying levels of damage there. I think it goes top right, bottom left, bottom right for people previously looking at a screen pattern with the most damage there at the moment. But Mike, once again, sending it through the stage. You see there the nose lifting as we've seen over the previous stages.
Do you have the timetable to hand, TK?
I do.
Could you grab someone who is undeafened, who is not due to depart anytime soon? Don't want to upset our departure crew, as Adam Sanderson comes in with the raid. So, hello, Adam's viewers. Apologies that he unfortunately met an untimely demise. I hope you enjoyed his photo shoot.
Hello, Mr. Leroy. Welcome in.
Oh, hey guys, how's it going?
I thought you'd bring you in for another little chat, as I think you've got a couple of minutes before you're due to depart.
Yeah, I'm sweaty. I'm sweaty. That was a very rough set of stages, but I don't think not changing tires helped.
Yeah, your car's looking a little bit beaten and bruised there in the garage.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is my normal daily driver. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's factory fresh.
Oh no, wait, hang on. My headphones are glitching. I didn't hear a word you just said.
I just said it's factory fresh.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can see like all the mud pieces too on it. You know, it's like I call it my masterpiece of disaster. That's what I like to call it.
Beautiful.
If anybody has any other name suggestions, I'm open to it. I'm not good at names.
Chat will get some in.
Please.
So have you got spare new tires for the last stage, or have you?
I do. I saved a set of super softs, and wow, it only says that the gravel softs are only worn by 1 point, which I don't believe. They felt like they had no grip throughout that last stage. But you know what? Whatever happens, I'm just sending it. If I DNF, I DNF. But it was an honor to be a part of this first season. I think it was a lot of fun. You guys put on a great show. I'm gonna try and put it on one more show one more time, and it will either what's that famous quote that everybody's been saying now? I'm not pressing the brake pedal until I see the checkered flag or God. That's what it is.
Just give a yell of B. Roy Jenkins and absolutely send it.
Absolutely. It's a 17-kilometer stage.
Yep.
Wait, what? I thought it was a. Whoa. We've had short ones all season. Why is it now long?
This is the reverse, I believe, of stage 10, which you ran a little bit earlier. That was also the 17.1. You're just running that in reverse. So these are the two longest stages on the Estonia rally here.
The record's 7 minutes 20. I did it in 9 minutes 30. So that's your time window to be in between.
Wait, what?
So the record is what? I'm sorry, 7:38.
7 minutes 20 is the record. I did it in 9 minutes 30. So you're going to be somewhere in that time window.
I did it in 10:24.
I had you on the power stage at least.
This is where I had the puncture. I remember now.
Yeah.
All right, shot in the dark. If I somehow get the world record, I don't know. Somebody gives $1,000 to me. I don't know.
I'll gift you some subs. How about that?
Aw, you're too nice to me. I'll try my best just for you.
I can't wait to see you in about 8 minutes' time.
It's gonna be a pretty sight, that's for sure.
As long as it's got 4 wheels and can vaguely drag itself down the road, a car's a car at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's better than it was smoking during that entire last stage. So as long as I can keep the smoke to a minimum, 4 tires on it, and I can see the checkered flag, we're good.
Amazing stuff. Well, best of luck, dude. And yeah, we'll see you after you run the last stage.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
I think if they're still unmuted, let's grab in both Vlembar and Kamikaze.
I'll bring Vlembar and Kamikaze. Welcome in, both of you.
Hello.
So, guys, we haven't got long, I imagine, before your departure time, but you're going into the last level. Obviously, it's the power stage. So, have you both saved tyres? Let's go with Vlembar first.
No, I changed on the service before 10 onto softs. So I'm on softs right now. Don't got new ones.
Okay, and Kamikaze, do you have fresh tyres?
I have fresh tires and a fresh car.
Ooh.
Oh, fresh tyres and a fresh car. And I believe there is only about 1 minute and 15 between you.
Yeah, so we will aiming for ISA P8 and top standing, so we will just send it and it goes how it goes. Even a stage win or a DNF.
So a true Kamikaze run then?
Yep.
Excellent. I'm going to make sure we've got you queued up then. So, guys, have you found the rally overall then? Happy with the balance of the stages? Obviously, this is quite a long one for us to be wrapping up on, but
yeah, it's a lot of distance. I've had a few moments actually, but I think in general it was a pretty good rally. Surely difficult.
Kamikaze?
I'm pretty happy with this one. It's fine. Even with the whole championship, it's been pretty good for us. So, yep, liking the concept. Looking forward to next one.
Excellent. I wasn't sure how much time we had before your departure, so if your departure is soon, then do feel free to leave us here. Otherwise, TK, is there anything from yourself?
No, just honestly, fantastic driving from both of you throughout the event. To get the times you're setting, you're really challenging the creators to push themselves to that next level, and that in itself is half the fun that we have here in the Creator Series. It's absolutely fantastic to see.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Good luck, both of you.
We'll let you go.
Thank you.
Mike's
Thank you very much.
Excellent.
We've had Ambient Mike hop in for a little chat. I think he. How long do you have before you'll go?
So we had a few of the other quicker lads. Thought I'd hop in the booth here for a second.
That's no sweat, mate. How long have you got before your run? Just to make sure that you're not gonna be pulling us late.
We have a good little while till the power stage, till 53 after, so just about 4 minutes.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So we've got plenty of time. So what I can do then is I can pop Kamikaze up, and you can watch his run along with us if you wish. You should be able to see it on the screen share on the Discord. Otherwise, you can grab it up on the Twitch stream itself. And I have noticed that there is a weird cloning going on with Kamikaze's stream, so I'm going to fix that at the same time while we watch him run through. TK, if you wouldn't mind giving us a bit of comms.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Mike, whilst you're here, you're kind of one of our resident experts in WRC. Talk us through what you're seeing from his point of view. Kind of, what would someone that say is a creator might not be seeing as they run through the stage?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the most part, there's a lot of really small details. I think at the top end, we really learn how to reduce the amount of time you're losing. So it's not necessarily about going as fast as possible, but maybe not slowing too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of this time definitely comes from the braking. So you'll see like a beginner, for instance, from an outside perspective, rally looks really out of control and wild. And so you'll be getting some of these creators who are maybe doing the Colin McRae technique of yanking the handbrake any opportunity, when a lot of the really fast guys are doing this very smooth trail braking technique.
So I'm guessing, kind of reading between the lines here, majority of it is not necessarily sending it through every corner with every ounce of energy that car is producing, but trying to minimize the downtime between the slow parts, trying to keep the car moving in the right direction. That will kind of bring the sector time down.
Absolutely, yeah. For the most part, even my runs, for instance, I was keeping it quite conservative at moments. It's the old adage that if you lose a few tenths, that's one thing, but if you bin it trying to be quick, you're gonna lose seconds.
Yeah, it's always the Kamikaze just riding the edge of the curve there ever so slightly, but still maintaining good speed on the car, even through the jumps. It's very controlled. Everything is kind of thought out a few corners before. How crucial is it to listen to the pace notes, especially through long and fast sections like this?
Hugely. As you said, that's another thing, is just your visual and mental aspect. Is a lot of the top drivers, you're mentally a few corners ahead. You're really painting a picture of the stage with the pace notes in your mind, and just planning every single corner ahead. So you'll have moments where maybe you're sacrificing time on one corner, but that's because you have a really long straight where you'll gain all that time back.
Yeah, you're kind of sacrificing one to prep for a few corners ahead or a few straights ahead. You see Kamikaze going through that hairpin. He was planning that kind of a couple corners behind. He'd set the car up well, got it rotated, almost skipping over the don't cut marker there, but just avoiding a penalty.
Yeah, those spots are very interesting, because the anti-cut markers do tell you where you can't cut, but they also tell you where you can cut as well. They're a little bit of an indicator, and as long as you're not on the other side of those, you're usually just fine.
That's fantastic. That's really interesting to know from obviously your sort of insight. We don't see it sometimes from the creators. They're just trying to survive the stage 9 times out of 10, and obviously Kamikaze, they're wiggling the car, getting it rotated probably a good few meters before the turn, just to set him up and prep him. Is that crucial for a corner?
Absolutely. Yeah, your corner exit, so after your apex, is always the most important spot. If you're not setting that up properly, it's not going to be a good time.
Fantastic. Amazing. Thank you for all the insight there. That's really interesting. I'm sure the viewers at home as well really appreciate it.
Happy to. Yeah, looks like I'm going to have to go. I'm going to be hopping on the stage myself, so definitely we'll try to put on a good show.
Best of luck
Best
to
of
you, and
luck.
we look forward to seeing you.
Cheers, gents.
That was a really fascinating insight from Ambi and Mike there. Like, we've spoken to Isa on previous broadcasts. He's been in the comms box with myself, with Gareth, but that was a real insight into what is going through a rally driver's mind through those corners, through the twists, the turns, the jumps, the troughs, and really useful to know.
I think that Isa has actually finished. If he wanted to come and chat us through the other guys doing their final runs.
I think we should. We'll bring him in. Here we go.
Go flat out, and I just turned it up to 10 or into 11, and just go for it.
Sorry, Isa, we've kidnapped you into the commentary box. How was your run?
it could have ended in disaster, to be fair. On one of the flat out jumps, I forgot that you have to go far off to the left. And I just went straight, and I had the visions. Well, not visions. I literally could see the hay bale, massive hay bale right in front of me. I just managed to steer the wrong direction in just about the correct time, and then I had to avoid spectators as well, and so it was crazy. My car was hanging on by a thread as well, just suspension damage and all kinds of other damage, which made it just crazy. I think this is the most fun I've ever had in this game, honestly. Just flat out over the limit. I cannot describe the feeling of just being power sliding flat out the entire time. It's an incredible feeling.
Yeah,
So
it looks
you finished at the you finished just over an
No.
hour on the timing sheet. Was that were you aiming to get under that hour mark? Because obviously a few drivers did manage to make it into the 58s and the 59-minute marks.
I was aiming to get to the finish line.
That's completely fair enough.
Much preparation. So I was like, this is the fastest car combo with one of the fastest track combos. My objective is to not hit every single tree. And granted, I hit half of the trees in the forest. I'm going to have to give a little bit of a donation to Estonia there because they're going to have to replant some trees. But yeah, making it to the finish line is a miracle, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a stunning drive all round, and of course, avoiding numerous hay bales. Adam Sanderson, I think, the only driver at the moment falling foul to one of those, but just making it home in itself is impressive. P5 overall in all 5 stages. Surely you must be happy with that one.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I'm not sure if my stage win counted still after every driver went through. On I can't remember which stage it was now. Velivere, stage 8, I guess. But I was very happy with that run. It was the only stage that I knew from time trials and stuff like that. So I chose that one stage to push absolutely flat out. And yeah, to be as close to the top as I was, I knew that I couldn't fight right at the top, but I wanted to get as close as possible. And I had the speed, the consistency. Well, it's out there somewhere, wrapped around a tree.
So
Yeah.
we've just had Kamikaze come across the line with the fastest time of anyone on that final stage. He came in with a 7:18, which does mean, I believe, that he's caught up with you. It's whether he's managed to overtake you. Yes, he has beaten you by those 4 seconds. He needed to do a record time, and he did a record time. So you're coming in at the 1 hour and 48 seconds with Kamikaze, 1 hour 44 seconds after all of those stages. So
Kamikaze is an absolutely wonderful driver, so I do not feel any, bad feelings towards him for him beating me. He's a legendary guy and such a nice guy, and I know his speed and his pace, especially on fast rallies, so he deserves it most definitely.
he was in the commentary box with us just before he went out on that last run, and we did say it's going to be effectively a Kamikaze run because he said he was throwing everything at it to overtake you, and he's managed to do it, so credit to him.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. I think it just pays sort of respect to the amount of people in this game that are just crazy fast and have so much talent. And I wish them all the best for the supposed upcoming esports season.
Flembar's finished his stage. He goes P3 overall as well.
He does manage to come in under an hour.
Stages. Yeah, 59.48 for himself.
Lovely. Wow. Incredible.
We were commenting throughout, Isa, that the quality of the field that's been on show today has been basically second to none. Like, it's been crazy to watch. It's been very difficult for us in the commentary box, frankly, to keep up with everything. We've spoken to pretty much everyone, less than we would have liked, but it's been a show.
It has.
I think everybody being dragged into the commentary box, their brains are fried by the stages, so it's probably been a crazy experience for everybody. Certainly from behind the steering wheel, it was just having no time to think whatsoever, let alone listen to the pace notes. So I can't imagine what commentary must have been like, for sure.
In a weird sort of twisted sense, it's gone very quickly because we've been switching between so many different drivers. We've had minimal incidents of terminal damage. We've been trying to switch between everyone, trying to keep everyone on screen when they've been doing their runs. It's actually felt like it's gone rather quickly. It doesn't feel like it's been over an hour here.
Yeah, it feels like 5 minutes ago that I was
Yeah.
launching my live stream saying, right, stage 1, let's go.
But no, it's fantastic, and fantastic drive from yourself as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think halfway through, I decided to just be like Ken Block. Let's just chuck it sideways on the brakes and see what happens. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I can approve Ken Block's style. You definitely have fun 100% of the time. So it was brilliant.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the time, Isa. I look forward to chatting with you next season. I look forward to working with you, probably with you back in the commentary box next season. I will say that today we have missed the trained brain of someone who actually knows rally inside out, as opposed to us two rank amateurs, for want of a better term, who have muddled through.
You do yourselves discredit. Come on, have a bit of respect for yourselves. I just want to say, as maybe a closing thought, just a thank you to everybody who's made this series in general possible, because it's a difficult thing to plan, to put in place, and many people don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes in preparations or indeed after the events. And so I just want to say a massive thank you, and also a congratulations to everybody for making this series very, very special and well, in my opinion, very, very successful. I'll leave it up to others to decide that.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Isa. I'm sure we'll catch you soon.
Thank you.
Well, we're spoilt for choice now. There's a wide variety of people to talk to, but I think we should get Punju in just to round it off, and then ask him whether he thinks we should talk to everyone else or whether they're quite done with with talking to us. So I think as our champion, let's pull Punju in and say, Punju, it's been an incredible evening. It's been rapid. It's been hard to keep up with. It's been fun. You are our champion. You are our champion when we started today, but congratulations once more. Oh, you've got the champagne ready to go.
Absolutely. I'm going to go outside after this and pop that champagne bottle. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Excellent. So obviously, as the let's say, I don't know, is it right to call you the brains behind all of this?
I get organizer.
Organizer, yeah. Being the organizational powerhouse behind the EA WRC Championship, how do you feel this first season's gone? What are we looking for? What can we look forward to next season as well?
Yeah. First season's been exceptional. I want to say thanks to every single community member that decided to join throughout the season, put in whether it be one stage or you did all 10 of the weeks, whatever it is. I just want to say thanks, guys. You guys are amazing. It was incredible. We had a total of 1,704 members to this club for the first season, which is unbelievable. So thank you so much to all of you guys for participating, running your runs, and having fun. GG's to the overall championship. I believe is going to be Vlembar at the end of the day. So GG's to him as well.
Yes.
He needs some massive congrats for that. He will take the overall club championship out of all entrants, which I haven't looked to see how many people have actually put in at least one standing, but it's a lot. So well done to Vlembar.
Do you want us to bring him in and you can congratulate him yourself?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah? Here we go. Let's
do
put
it.
him in. Vlembar, welcome to the commentary box.
Welcome back.
Hey, Flem. Hey, I wanted to say, personally, congratulations. I believe you are officially the club champion as of today. Overall.
Yeah, it's not over, but I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think you did it, because if we look at the variable points, I do not think Loles will eclipse you on that. So I believe you've gotten it.
I think he's done already, isn't he?
Yeah, he's finished. He was.
And he did a great run, but you beat him. So it's done. You've done it, dude.
Yeah, that's
well
probably done. Yeah, GG's.
Yep. And you also beat Rodiz, who was like in third as well. So he also could not eclipse you. And outside of that, Isaac Musing was too far out off of points. So you've done it. Well done, man. How do you feel?
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's mostly down to consistency.
Seriously.
I don't think. I think the only rally where I really had problems was Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
Everything except that went really smooth. This one as well. So
Yep.
that
Yeah,
did the job.
Today was incredible. And I think our creator winner for today is Ambient Mike. From what I'm seeing. Holy smokes.
Yeah, he did beat me. I think 15 seconds.
Dude, that's a ridiculous time. Wow. I think he might be in here as well. So GG's to Ambient Mike. Incredible finish. Great way to freaking win this thing. I just want to say,
Hey,
yeah,
how's it going?
all you guys. Well, hey, what's up, Mike?
Howdy, man.
Howdy, winner for today.
Oh, that was quite the intense rally. That was really a blast. Fighting with Vlembar the whole rally, I must say.
Yeah, you two were like neck and neck from start to finish. So well done, guys. That was great to see. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys obviously honor the winners tonight, but I just want to say thanks to all the club members that went and participated this season. We got some big changes coming up for season 2. A survey will be coming out as well on both the Creator Series Discord channel as well as the EA WRC Discord channel to put in your feedback survey on what things you want to see change, improve, differ between this season and next. And we're gonna make season 2 even bigger and better. So I'm really excited. Thanks everybody. You guys are amazing.
Amazing.
Thanks,
stuff.
Punji.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Punji. Thank you all as well.
Appreciate you guys.
I can feel slightly less starstruck with Punju out of the room. And there goes Ambient Mike, and there goes Vlembar. Oh, thank goodness. Three champions of the day in the room. And yeah, I mean, they put on a show today for us. We didn't manage to catch all of it. Do feel free, guys, to go and check out the VODs for each individual driver's streams if you liked what you saw, because obviously we can't catch everything. But yeah, and I realised I've just left it on Punji, so I might as well bring it back for the very end to our faces. What little that we've seen of us.
Yeah.
Normally, when I've got a bit more time to focus, we cut away to the commentary. We look at the tables for a little bit, but today it's been all out. TK.
It really has. There's been so many fantastic creators. There's not been a moment of kind of downtime from the majority of them. There was always someone running that we were trying to watch, and you absolutely love to see it.
What was your biggest surprise of the day?
I think with Rift Blondie, the pace was fantastic. The confidence was really there. From start to finish, there was consistency. She was always within that kind of top 50, top 100. So yeah, the practice she's putting in really starting to show, and I'm really looking forward to what she brings to season 2 here.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest surprise, frankly, was that only Adam joined Gareth in the DNF pile. I thought that this rally would have an attrition rate not dissimilar to Monte Carlo, but all of them absolutely smashed the course. I credit to them. Like watching the speeds that some of them are going through is insane.
Yeah, especially to watch some of the angles that they'd performed and put their cameras at as well. I would be absolutely terrified if I was riding for however many kilometers that was in a nose cam. Shout out to some of the guys that don't always race full time as well. You know, you got the likes of I think Captain Sparkles, who's probably not too recently got into racing. I know he's got a one hell of a setup, but if you look back to his origins, wasn't always a racing content creator. The likes of some others that have come in and absolutely smashed it and always finish with a smile. That's the best thing about it all.
Yeah, and I will just quickly see. No, it's not going. Oh, it is going to work perfect.
Hey.
Not quite perfectly cropped, but just a confirmation for you guys of what we discussed just now. That Vlembar is our overall champion. The people in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th have finished their runs, and they finished below Vlembar at this stage. So an insurmountable lead. It doesn't matter that there's still another, is it about 5 hours that people can plug their times in? If they haven't managed to get their times on the board, go do it now, go get on there. But yeah, credit to them for ending out this season at the very top.
Yeah, I think it really sets up season 2 really nicely. I think we've seen the club grow exponentially over the last 8 weeks or so, and I'm really looking forward. I reckon that's going to continue to grow into season 2 as well. I'm slightly worried as to what Punju's going to throw at us for that. He threw some curveballs in there. I mean, if you look back to the April Fool's joke he played on every one of the creators, that was slightly mean. But I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what he imagines up, because he's got a wealth of opportunity now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm hoping for less April Fool's jokes. Maybe slightly shorter courses, because for those of us who are slightly slower, it does take a little bit of time to get through the whole course. Obviously, for those who are interested in playing it, you can stop after a stage, go away and come back. You don't have to do it all in one big shot like our creators have this evening. But TK, unless there's anything else from you?
I don't think so. Just a massive shout out to everyone for turning up, not only from the creators, but the guys watching at home as well. It literally isn't possible without you all.
Yeah, and I echo that as well. Thank you very much to everyone who's put things together, especially to Gareth for putting together a package this evening that allowed me to manage the sheer quantity of drivers that we had. Appreciate it. Probably has felt like a little bit of a ramshackle ride, but at the end of the day, that's Rally. So until next season, it's goodbye from us at the EA Sports WRC Creator Series. I think that's all of the words that I need to fit in, but we'll see you next time. Good night.